Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are at Gdansk Airport today in the north of Poland, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and we'll be taking the Fenix A320 out on a little hop over to Alesund Vigra, the north of Norway. Really nice route with a particularly tricky approach towards the end. Lazaros, hello. Kalispera. Mikhail, welcome. Badger, Gav, good evening to you in Australia. Badger's waiting for the thunderstorm. It's a whopper. It's over our house at the moment. It's huge. MG King, good afternoon. MPS Gaming, welcome as well. And Jack, good to see you back. Hope you're good. Drzewiecki Designs GDANSK Airport scenery for Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's been out for about a week now today. Scott F, good evening. And we're going to be giving it a go effectively, exploring what it has to offer and helping you guys decide if you want to purchase it for your own sim experience. But from the outside it looks pretty nice actually. The train station here bizarrely is also modelled. Why are we here? It's because there are a couple of really nice little features to go and explore. A couple of animated passengers as well doing the little rounds, and that train off in the distance that whizzes around busily. So both tracks get utilised. As that one leaves the station on platform 2, the one on platform 1 comes in, just bringing the airport to life a little bit more. I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background, but the thunder is really, really loud at the minute. Here it comes. Lots of little sounds and things as well. So we're going to spend maybe 20-30 minutes on the ground exploring this new scenery. The world's most scariest AI, not AI people, but static people. It's weird, isn't it? Because quality wise, that guy there with a suitcase walking around is a lot better. There's the train. Falls in, the next one's coming in as well. And they stop for a little while before zipping away. A lot of stuff on the outside of the airport, which is quite busy too. Savage says the thunderstorm's going his way as well soon. Ali Dobson, welcome. UF and Zato, hello guys. Off they go, look at that. And the other one heads in the other direction. So as we're zooming about, there are a couple of different features with the airport scenery that are probably worth pointing out. Every now and again I kept hearing a blaring of horns, and I was thinking to myself, who the hell outside is blaring horns here? I live in quite a quiet sort of rural area now, but it's actually inside the scenery, bizarrely. So really quite cool. And Drzewiecki Designs have also gone ahead and modelled in the car parks and a couple of the bits outside of the airport footprint as well on the perimeter. A couple of ad boards, buildings, hotels and all that sort of stuff as well. But we spend most of our time in the flight sim world in the flight deck and airside. So what we're going to do is have a little look and explore around the terminal for a little bit, work our way over to the gate. We're on gate 25 at the minute on the VATSIM network, and then we will blitz through our pre-flight checks and everything else as well. This is a really nice scenery actually, it's got to be said. Lots going on over there, little cargo section, the control tower on the left too, and some big sort of buildings there. What's that? Oh, it's a Lot 737 Max in a hangar. Very cool. Mikhail's at gate 7, good stuff. If you're new to the channel, welcome on board. Hit like and subscribe. Hopefully, if you missed yesterday's Fokker F28 preview from Just Flight, you can go back and watch that on demand. But if you tuned in yesterday, hopefully you really enjoyed it. Dobry den, Doc. Dzień dobry. Little bit of work done on the outside, quite nice. Drzewiecki Design known for their really exquisite airport buildings within the sim. Look at this. There's the beeps of the horns. We've got ambient noise. Rental cars looking busy, and it's nice to see an arrivals area here with people kind of waiting for flights to come in. That's a really nice touch. Incredibly detailed board. Look at that. We can make out all of those. Through the coffee shop. Why not? Doosh. Look at this, the hustle and bustle. Warsaw, Helsinki, Leeds, Oslo, Garderman, Paris, Beauvais, Edinburgh, Eindhoven, lots of little route options there. Berlin, Texel was on there bizarrely, I don't know why. Doesn't exist anymore. Oh look, there's the train. It's pretty cool, isn't it? Norman Price, welcome, flying from your hometown. Hopefully you like the fact that there's a really nice payware scenery that's been developed for it now. Look at this. Really, really nice. Yeah, Andy, that's a good point. The clock will be right twice a day. It's not modelled, unfortunately. We'll head through security, above the flow of people. Look at this, like action drone cam. And up to the oops, my goodness. Well, that ruined that surprise. Oh, we'll reset. We'll reset. Look at that. We'll pretend it didn't happen. Not as bad as a wing strike, eh? And then we can head up the escalator, which is animated as well. In fact, just going to keep an eye on that lift for a moment. Imagine if one day we'll be able to click that button there and call it up. Doesn't look like it's animated, but that's fine. Why would it be? William, hello. This looks amazing. I know, right? Little Virgin wine shop there. Mackie D's. An I Love Poland gift shop. Looking good, isn't it? Very nice. And that floor, my goodness. That must have taken an absolute age to texture. Look at the detail involved. Remarkably nice. That's impressive. Yeah, that's really, really impressive. That's an exquisite flooring. I don't even know how you would begin to texture something like that, to be honest. Really, really good work. Our flight time today, folks, is expected to be a couple of hours. Fashion gallery, what else have we got here? The food gate. Oh, relay duty free. And then, what have we got here? The border. So, the airport here, by the looks of it, is shared. Arrivals and departures are mixed, which in the UK would never happen because you would never mix what are classed as clean passengers with dirty passengers. It's all well and good knowing the regime of security at the departure airport that you're screening passengers for. However, you can't guarantee the quality of screening and search for their departures for any arriving traffic. So you would never tend to kind of mix them. But it's interesting, a lot of European airports are quite blasé with that. Prague as well being one of them. It's an incredibly surreal experience. In fact, you don't even go through security in Prague until you get at the gate. I don't get it. Very odd. Outsides. Really nice custom apron textures. Look at this. Oh, it's an A321neo there from Wizz as well. This route, by the way, is operated in real life by an A321neo with Wizz. Wow, look at this turnout today, folks. What a show. Loads of us, my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We've filled up the airport almost. 14, including that one there, just dipping in underneath. Wow, good effort. Good luck finding a parking spot in, in Enal. Good point, Alesund Vigra. Small airport, complex arrival. So, here we are in the Fenix A320. we've already done our GSX boarding, and we're boarded through the EFB as well. I spent a little while actually before the stream started trying to work out what the chuffing heck is this. Don't even know, my goodness. Spent the first 20-30 minutes before the stream began today trying to solve some issues with the Fenix again, once again. My god, it proves frustrating at times. But yeah, effectively, I thought maybe a lot of the problems that I experienced with this aeroplane come from the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 yoke and throttle, kind of not really working well with it. So I thought maybe all my problems would be solved with the Honeycomb Bravo, and I followed an online tutorial video from Simhanger Flight, or Simhanger Sim, specifically for configuring the Honeycomb Bravo throttle with the Fenix, and it still doesn't work exactly, so it's just a buggy mess. This is possibly going to be the last time I'm going to fly Fenix for a long time, if not a while, if not before version 2 comes out, because it's just frustrating having to deal with some of the issues. But we don't need reverse thrust until we touch down. Effectively, it does this. Oh look, now it works. 90% of the time it does that. Then to get it to work and go back to idle, I've got to do that weird wiggle. Let's try again. Nope. So now it doesn't work, but if I advance the throttles all the way up, now it goes into full reverse there. Oop, now it's changed its mind and it's changed. And it's gone back again. So I can advance the throttles through the detents. It's not having it. And now weirdly now if I can advance the throttles it goes all the way up again. So it seems to have two different settings within the one. Ian says that's what happens to me, mate, with the Bravo as well. Bit frustrating, isn't it, right? Especially, you kind of just want it to work. Good day, Ian. Colo in flight, very good. I can recommend the historic city from Gdansk in real. I was very impressed by the old city 3 years ago. Troggy Poggy says the aircraft works fine with me and I have a Turtle Beach. Yeah, it's odd because a lot of you don't have any issues at all with it. But some people have significant issues with it, which doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I really don't understand what the heck is going on with it, to be honest. I've tried everything, including buying a new throttle and following everything step by step and recalibrating and being careful with it all. So I've given up. I've given up. Right. So, who's in that A330? They still haven't left, right? Let's just try and have a little look at this. Osprey 2472, Ian. In the headwind A330. For some reason the livery still isn't working. It's really weird. Okay, let's have a look at this then. So, we're on apron 2 at apron 3 at Gdansk. John, hello buddy. We're going to push start facing south. We're going to taxi all the way down Alpha to Alpha 1. Hold point runway 29 for departure. 287 degrees. 2,800 meters for the runway length, and we're going straight on to the Vapos 1 hotel departure. So we're going to fly runway heading 7 miles, quite an easy departure this. Then we're going to turn 322 degrees from 3,300 feet at or above at Golf Delta 511. 322 degrees track to 521, 317 track to Vapos, where we need to be at or above flight level 110. Dzień dobry, Thomas, welcome. Our routing today is going to take us over the Baltic Sea. I think it's the Baltic Sea. It is the Baltic Sea. Over Denmark for a little while. In fact, is it Denmark? No, it's not. We're heading over Sweden. Passing to the west of Karlstad, and then we're going to head over Oslo Gardermoen Airport before routing up northwest towards Alesund. So where have we got here? There's Oslo Gardermoen in the middle of the chart there, and then northwest up to the fjord, so this beautiful approach into Vigra. We are expecting, when we get in, the BT1 Quebec arrival, which is going to bring us in over a load of terrain. Down to 5,000 feet at Lapev for the clearance limit, and then at the moment you can see runway 06 is being planned for now with a headwind of 10 knots, crosswind of 2. And we're expecting the RNAV Zulu runway 06 approach, which looks like that. Not offset though, but quite nice all the same all the while. There is a VOR runway 06 which is really cool, and that one actually does bring you in quite offset to the direction of the runway, which is quite unique. But we're not going to do that today, I don't think, unless I really change my mind and go a bit wild. The main plan today, folks, is no wing strikes. Although I did love the fact that Just Flight have actually modelled that in, and so we can actually hear the sounds of the wind strike. ATSU, AOC menu, receive messages. So we've got a couple of little things left to do. We'll get rid of that preliminary load sheet. We'll read the final one. We'll leave that there on MCDU2. Departure Gdansk 29, Vapo 1 Hotel. Insert. Well, primarily all the aeroplanes will just fly RNAV, most likely Jack, to be honest. Checking up to VAPOS. Scrolling down the page, that all looks pretty good. Then we'll zip over to ENAL, and we'll initially put in that RNAV Zulu 06. OBT1 Quebec. That could change. If it does, we will deal with it, and then via LAPEV, like so. We need to think about our init page now. So we've done all our fueling, 6.9 tons. Zero fuel weight at the moment is 55.5. So let's turn our attention to the load sheet here on the EFB. Zero fuel weight 55.5. Just going to write this down on my notepad. Zero fuel weight, and then the centre of gravity for that is 31.5. Takeoff weight is well, gross weight currently 62.4, and a Mach GW 29.7. In tanks 6877. Rounded up to 680. So we'll do 6.9 tons fuel. Make a note of that. QNH 1022. Boarding time, welcome. Right, so zero fuel weight was 55.5. / 31.5. Those figures that we just noted down. We can use fuel planning if we want to, and it will calculate it, but we're going to put 6.9 in anyway. I might run it down to 6.8 actually. Yeah, we'll do that. Very good. I'd rather have it read low than too high. NADP2 departure, so 1451. On the thrust reduction, acceleration altitudes, and 1451 for our engine out. Then we need to understand our performance calculations as well. So back to the EFB. John, yes, that's a good point actually. So there is an option inside the Orbex configurator where you can turn off things like static aircraft, animated people, and a few other bits as well. Runway 29 dock 1488 for each. I've read the wrong one, didn't I? 1488, there we go. Let's amend that quick while we remember. Okay, so sync load sheet final. We're going to go runway 29. Optimal config for flaps, force toga no, anti-ice off, packs on. Takeoff weight 62.1, that's fed in from that final load sheet. And the Mach takeoff weight, centre of gravity is 29.7 there as well. If we load the live weather, we've got QNH 1022, 21 degrees Celsius, and the wind 330 degrees at 9. We're not going to use an intersection, so we're not going to press the intersection data. We'll calculate our speeds. Aman, welcome. 132. Note all this down as well. 132. 135 for rotates and 135 V2. Flaps 1 down 0.3. Trimble horizontal stabilizer. Flex temp 68 degrees. And that is that done. V1 132, 132, 135, and 135. While we're doing that, let's do a little bit of multitasking. We'll go on 1228 GSX and we'll call the pushback tug. Flaps 1 slash down 0.3 and flex temp 68.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
So, init A, init B, perf page is done. Cost index of 15. Initially set to 6,000 at the moment because that is the transition altitude for today. Transition altitude is set to 6.5 though. We'll change that very briefly.
Departure checks completed.
And the flight plan page is all done and set. Let's look up. Pumps are all on anyway, so we're going to go master switch APU on, seatbelt signs can go on. 3 seconds, engine start. Let's get rid of the music for now. We're going to keep an eye on that. We don't need auto brake max just yet, and we want to push and start on. Ooh, that's a good question. Is it taxiway mic facing east? It is, isn't it? Runway 29. I mean, it's even written there. We got this available yet? Not yet. That's fine. We'll give it a moment. We don't want to disconnect from the ground power just yet. So GSX is going to shout at us a little bit. This is us trying to be super efficient. GPU still connected. Make sure I've got New Sky switched on. I do. And we've got Volanta fired up too for today. It's going to keep dinging at us. Available. APU bleed. External power off. Back to the EFB. GPU dismiss. Chocks cones.
Locking gear.
And just before we push back, we'll make a call and we'll flick the beacon light on. Dansk traffic, Wizz Air 6536 stand 25 A320 with QNH 1022. Push start to face east for runway 29er, I think it is. Dansk traffic. Is it Dansk or is it Dansk? Was that release parking brake? I wasn't paying any attention. Oh, we started zooming to go on. Yeah, it was. Spark brake off.
Commencing push.
Okay, so we've made a call.
Start at will.
We'll have a quick check. Wow, this is so busy.
Line up runway 29 takeoff departure.
Okie dokie. So nice and easy with this because we just go up here. That's all looking fine. Engine 2 start. These old school engines. Got a custom profile for this, by the way, but it's only the walk-in gates that work for it. Morning, Jody Doc. Welcome.
Set parking brake.
Unfit to ground. You have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking gear.
I do love the sounds in the Fenix. Really, really nice.
Dansk traffic, Spy 58, take off runway 29 and Vabos departure.
Oh yeah, the transition altitude is 6.5. Just saw it on the charts. So I misread the 5 when I was blitzing through it all earlier on. We'll change that. Well pointed out, Doc.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
We'll leave the perf page on there. Down 0.3. What have we got here? It's about there, isn't it? Jolly good. Ignition mode norm for the engines. They both look good. We're going to go auto brake on max, and then looking at the flight control page, I'm going to go fully right on the stick, back to neutral, all the way left, back to neutral. We can see pitch trim shown 0.3 down as we requested and commanded a moment ago. Back on the elevators, forwards on the elevators, and then our good old rudder issue in the sim. I've changed my sensitivity settings a little bit with the rudder just to try and make it a little bit more kind of docile, a little bit, I guess. Okay, that's good. That's all done. We're going to set the auto brake, all the ground spoilers, predicted wind shear, GCS automatic, more scan automatic. We'll pop that on auto for now and TA because I'm lazy. 1022, that's set. Flight control panel is set 6000 initially. VOR's auto tuning, ARC 20 and constraints are all on. That's annoying because I did. There we go, now it's linked. Nose lights on, APU off. Quick check of the overhead panel, no white lights. And taxi. Bar brake off. A little bit of power just to nudge the nose wheel moving, get it moving. That's traffic with 6536, taxiing out of Mike for Alpha 1 runway 29er. Thanks traffic.
Dense traffic, Oscar 74 lining up runway 29 and waiting for 4-minute separation.
Dense traffic, Oscar 495.
Back to neutral, not neutral, back to idle. Just see if it wants to roll or not. Ah, are we that heavy today? We'll keep a little bit of power fed in for it. I'm going to have a quick look to see if we've got any cabin announcements with the Luke Air tool. Nice bit of freeware cabin announcement add-on. Just going to load that up and have a little look for you guys. I think there was a whiz option, but I'm just not sure how detailed it all is. Let's have a little look. Wizz Air.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time please direct your attention to the crew. Ladies and gentlemen.
No, it's all crap default ones. I can't bother with those ones. They're rubbish. I don't like the AI voice text to speak kind of thing. Choggy Poggy says, where'd you get the Wizz Air livery? On flightsim.to. Of course. I think our good old friend Tapsy painted it, in fact, to be fair. Get that Luke Air tool, not the Luke Air tool, sorry, the Toby eye tracker fired in. El Papino, welcome. No 757 model matching straight ahead. No, I don't think there are many 757s available in the sim, to be honest. We need V2 to fix a lot of the bugs that not everybody experiences, but certainly the bugs that I and some others experience. Does ruin the experience a little bit. Round we go by Alpha 5. Thing is, the Fenix has got some wonderful things going for it, really. Sounds especially. But I do think the fly-by-wire A320X is starting to behave a little bit more stably, at least for me and some others, and seems to actually handle approach a bit better as well. Aviation Sim, welcome. You've changed your name again. We'll go downhill a little bit here, so we'll just pop the engines back on idle. We want flaps 1 plus F. Yeah, it's a stunning model and really nice textures in the flight deck as well, isn't it, Christopher, to be fair? I need to find a better solution for the issues that I've got. Gdansk approach. Wizz Air 6536 is on Alpha, going to change to approach frequency 127275. Let's get rid of the Toby eye tracker because it does get in the way a little bit here. You stare at the display and then it does weird stuff and keeps moving it from your eyesight. 127275, 127275.
Guns approach Osprey 704 with you. Line up on runway.
Information Alpha. Departures 29, transition level, flight level 80, surface wind 300 degrees at 11 knots, variable 270 degrees and 340, visibility cav OK, temperature 22 degrees, dew point 10, QNH 1022. Incumbus says the one thing I have trouble with in the Fenix is the nose drop on landing, not too difficult, but at the moment that's where I struggle. I can't remember the last time I did a Fenix flight, to be honest. I have begun to steer away from it because I'm getting just frustrated with the issues that I face. Gdansk approach, hello, Wizz Air 6536, A320 on Alpha with information Alpha, request clearance to Alesund.
Then climbing to flight level 360, Osprey 598.
Osprey 598, Gdansk approach, hello, set squawk 4531.
Osprey 598, squawk 4531. Osprey 598.
I get the feeling we were blocked entirely. Takeoff config normal.
Stand by, the squawks aren't loading.
I'm going to hold at Alpha 4 because I can't get in. Oh, actually, we'll just keep this pace. Gentle progress.
Approach, good evening, Osprey 495. Type A320 Neo, QNH 1022 with information Alpha, ready to taxi on Mike.
How much is the Fenix salvage ask? I think it's about 50. God, I'm trying to remember now. Is it about £55? 60 quid, roughly. So about, what's that, 80, 75, 80 US dollars?
Taxi 29 via Mike Alpha Alpha 1, Osprey 495.
I don't know, I found reliable A320 VNAV more reliable than the Fenix recently.
Alpha, hold point Alpha 1, expect your clearance at the hold.
Sorry for that, was that for Wizz 6536?
6536 A7, continue Alpha for Alpha 1 and expect your clearance at the hold.
Okay, Alpha 1, clearance at the hold, Wizz 6536, thanks. 50 quid, there we go. Any news on the release of version 2, Ilias is asking, for Fenix? No, I don't think there is, although somebody's just mentioned a moment ago saying, Major Aviator says, deventure to say that V2 and IAEs will release around October to September, Sharklets around December. Oh, I'd venture, so that's a guess, right? Pointless guessing these things, because I'm not sure. I'll be happy to see it this side of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. I'll put it that way. Can't really put it any other way, to be honest. I'm hoping, touch wood, this goes nicely.
And Osprey 784, are you ready?
Because it is a really nice aeroplane, minus the issues that I face. That's kind of what ruins it for me. It means that I favour other aeroplanes quite significantly over this nowadays, more so than anything else. I do try and then avoid this because of the issues. It does ruin it a little bit for me, because I very much enjoyed this before I started to encounter the problem. But I thought it was my Turtle Beach Velocity 1 flight yoke.
Clear for takeoff, we report when airborne passing 3,000 feet, 784.
And I've even set up a bespoke Fenix A320 custom profile for both the yoke and the Bravo throttle that I've now got.
Please to destination airport.
It's just a bit clunky still.
4434, Gdańsk approach, hello, Roger, stand by, number 4 for clearance.
Javgi, welcome. John says we used to blame the liveries for issues on fly-by-wire, and now it's the other way around with the Fenix. It's a stunning model, isn't it? And they've got the sounds absolutely bang on with this. One of the great things with what they've done with this.
Currently,
failures are nice as well. It's just a more rounded, more realistic A320 package, isn't it? It's top. That's still my favourite though. 737 at the moment. Yeah, Field of Gdańsk. Savage. Very cool. Bernie, glad you enjoyed the Fokker F-20 8th Fellowship preview yesterday. Planning a release day stream on Wednesday actually as well, so for those of you who fly along and are going to end up purchasing it, then you're going to be able to potentially zip it round with me live on a route as we kind of learn it together on Wednesday perhaps. Just haven't worked out the route yet. I am monitoring the members area of our Discord server though, so I'm hoping that a couple of people in there come up with something that we can all agree on for a flight, with all the liveries included in the F-28 release. They have sent me a new package today. Luke, Heron Studio, welcome. Developer of Luke Air Tool. Ilias, they said that the guy that Fenix were using for the IAE development was based in Ukraine, which obviously Putin decided to bombard with missiles, therefore it delayed their development a lot. That's how I understand it.
4532, Osprey 784.
Scandinavian 4590, you leave my airspace, radar services terminated. Have a good evening, bye bye.
And the same to you, over to Honeycomb, first Scandinavian 459.
David says I flew the Fenix yesterday and the aircraft floated on landing.
To Mike Charlie.
Interesting.
Gdańsk approach ready to copy clearance.
ready to copy for Nordic 2 Mike Charlie.
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie, you cleared to your destination of our flight planned route, departure VATSIM 1 hotel, departure.
Ooh, look at this, custom wigwags. There's the windsock, always take note of where that is, what it's doing, the direction of it, and how horizontal it is to give you an indication of strength.
4535, Nordic 2 Mike Charlie.
Take off memos,
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie,
no blue.
is correct, report ready for push and start.
A little bit over the top on the brakes there, but that's fine.
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie.
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie, Roger, push and start is approved. QNH1022, report ready for taxi.
Push approved.
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie. That's a good point actually. So the windsock could be backwards. So you've got to take the METAR, have a little look, and then look at the windsock to decipher whether or not it matches the METAR. Otherwise, you could have some problems. Park brakes set at the hold for clearance now. We wait.
Charlie. Yeah, the surface in 300 degrees at 11.
Wow, look at that. Drzewiecki Designs have also done that kind of retail park there as well. Well, not retail park, like a warehousing centre, distribution hub. That's pretty cool.
You ready to copy your clearance?
You ready to copy your 495?
Osprey 495, you're cleared to your destination via flight planned route to Vapos 1 Hotel, departure runway 29, set squawk 4537.
Cleared destination via departure to Niner on the Vapo 1 Hotel departure, squawk 4537, Osprey 495.
Osprey 495, your readback is correct. Break Osprey 4, correction with 6536, ready to copy.
A-firm 6536.
6536, you cleared to your destination, Vapos 1 Hotel, departure runway 29, set squawk 4533.
Cleared Alesund Vigra, Vapos 1 Hotel, departure runway 29. Was it squawk 4533 for Wiz 6536?
It was 6536, your readback is correct. Runway 29, line up and wait.
Runway 29, line up and wait was 6536. 4533 set. Let's get TARA, pop that on.
5 Papa November, you ready to copy?
Park brakes off.
Ready to copy, Osprey 5 November.
chime the folks
Osprey
in
Papa
the back.
November, clear to your destination. It's
Taxi
the Vatos
lights.
1 Hotel departure runway 29,
Strobes.
set squawk 4501.
Land, runway turn off
and
lights.
Station Alpha.
Lights and signs. Again, quick check of the takeoff memos, that's all good. I'm not going to worry about the chrono. I never really bother with it.
Osprey 5 Papa November, your readback is correct. Stand by for push. Break. Lufthansa 6 Hotel Charlie, you're identified. Climb now, flight level 280, proceed direct desk here.
They're really nice, look at that. You know, I'd heard mixed reviews of this Drzewiecki Designs GDANSK scenery.
For clearance, go ahead.
And to be honest with you guys, I actually think it's yet again another really nice
Good day, this is Osprey 236 Alpha.
a really nice scenery done by them.
Please advise.
Osprey 236 Alpha A firm. Are you ready to copy your clearance now?
A firm.
Oh, overzealous on the tiller.
Osprey 236 Alpha.
That nose wheel centre line.
It's the Vatos 1 Hotel departure.
As good as we're going to get for now.
Set squawk 4502. Information Alpha current.
Let's reset the view.
Roger that, clear to destination runway 29 at departure. The seat is Vatos 1 Hotel, squawk 4502.
About 1 hour 40 minutes, Tom, for the flight. Bit short today.
236 Alpha, your readback is correct. Break right. So with 6 at 536, the surface wind 300 degrees 11 knots from 29 clear for takeoff. Report airborne passing 3,000 feet.
Runway 29, clear for takeoff, report airborne, passing 3,000, was air 6536. Okay, 40%. We'll put the stick forwards a little bit. Just make sure that we've got this set. Engines look good, stable.
Departure the Vatos 1
Flex.
Hotel, runway 29.
SRS. Runway. Power set. Speeds alive. Maintaining that centre line. Now this, any crosswinds, the aeroplane actually tackles it for us. 80 knots, neutralising the stick.
Osprey 4434, your readback is correct, and brake Osprey 3.
At V1, hands off the throttles. V1 rotates. And back on the stick. 3 degrees per second rotation.
Hard point runway 29 via Mike and Alpha.
Working away. Positive rate. Gear up.
Runway 29 via Mike and Alpha.
Make sure that is working. Yes, it is. And following the flight directors.
Runway 29 land wait.
Little bit of manual flight for now, but Fly-by-Wire does kind of handle it for us, so we can just set it and let go. My goodness.
2 stations at once.
Autopilot 1 engage.
2205, bring us again.
I've got 2205, the Boeing 737 on stand 9.
There we go.
IFR clearance to Alps.
Press lever climb.
And Ascot 2205, you're clear to your destination via flight plan route. Departure Vatos 2.
Coming up to 3,000. Flat retraction speed coming up. And a little bit turbulent look.
is clear to Alesund Vigra via flight plan route on a Vatos 1 Hotel departure. Runway 29 4503.
Alesund.
Ascot 2205, your readback is correct. Engine started approved. QNH 1022, report ready for taxi.
Cool, Ascot 2205.
Who's at 6536, passing 3,000.
With 6536, thank you, you're identified. Climb now for level 260, proceed direct to Vatos.
Climb now, flight level 260, direct Vatos. So was there 6536. At the green dot, climbing away with a direct 2. So direct Vatos confirmed.
Osprey.
Inserts. Round we go, manage modes. Disarm the ground spoilers.
Correction, pushback and startup is approved. Report ready for taxi.
Climbing out. Forces Ulbex have done a great job with Melbourne Airport. We're due a flight back into there, to be honest, so I would like to maybe fly back in there at some point in the next week or so.
Charlie, there'll be a Osprey traffic from
John's saying the Fokker 28 looks really challenging, could do with some stabiliser wheels on the wingtips from what I saw. Yeah, absolutely.
The Osprey to holding point 29, Nordic to Charlie.
Thanks, approach Ascot 2205, ready for taxi.
Ascot 2205.
I need to work on my crosswind technique in that Fokker F28, that's for sure. It's a bit of a sporty beast to kind of manage. I thought, yesterday flying it into Belfast Aldergrove, I thought I had it nice and smooth, just stable. We were crapping a hell of a lot though, but then that kind of gust did push us across, didn't it, quite a lot. Almost pushed us off the runway a little bit, but then I wasn't smooth enough in sorting out the rudder. When that nose wheel came down, I think it's where the MSFS kind of nose wheel thing is still stuck to the rudder. It just veered us right. It got very unstable very quickly. But I know one of the things that I needed to do, I needed to stick in a whole load of left aileron. It did tip over a little easy, Christopher, yeah. But I think the element of that was I was a bit too overzealous in my rudder correction, and I didn't put anywhere near enough aileron in to counter that. So we're going to fly it again, probably on Wednesday on release day. They're still making lots of tweaks. It's a pre-release version of the Fokker F28, of course, the one we flew yesterday. I've got a new package they've sent to me today to download for any content before release, with a couple of tweaks and fixes and improvements, and they're still working away on that autopilot issue that we had after departure from Amsterdam, where it kind of we had runaway trim basically. So they're still working at fixing that, and they've almost done that as well.
Osprey 722, your read back is correct.
We're at 10,000 yet? Ooh, we are.
Osprey 5 Papa ready for push.
Osprey 5 Papa November, the QNH1022 and
there we go. And standard pressure, my goodness. I'm not doing a very good job of this today. I'm getting very sidetracked with talking about things. Seatbelt signs off. Lights and signs set as required through 10,000. That's
good. You leave my airspace now, radar service.
It is Paul, isn't it?
Bye-bye.
Yeah, they've sent me a new version with wings, yeah.
Cheers. With a 6536, proceed now direct tenor.
Proceed now direct Penna for, was there 6536?
Osprey 4434 is ready for taxi.
Big old shortcuts, my goodness.
Roger, taxi on punch from 029 by Lima, then Alpha.
Lima, Alpha, Osprey 4434.
146.
That's got 2205. Taxi now on punch from 29 via Lima and Alpha, following the.
Big thank you, of course, to Marcel. If you are watching, really appreciate it. Jumping on as an approach controller for today. Didn't have to. Love the fact we've got ATC for our departure today. Really nice.
Passing 5,000 feet.
Yeah, I think the issue really is, as Major Aviator and Christopher and John have mentioned as well, there's an issue with rudder input. I think where the nose wheel steering, so when we got that nose down, it got really messy. I think because we were using rudder authority to kind of balance the aircraft and get the nose back onto that centre line, but then the second the nose wheel touched down, it's like the sim still had the nose wheel pointed fully right, so it ended up swerving us a little bit and it became a little bit uncontrollable. That happens in quite a few aircraft, to be fair. But my goodness, it was fun yesterday. I haven't flown that hard in the sim since that first flight in the Mad Dog, for those of you who remember that. The F28 doesn't have an FMC or anything. It's very old school crude flying from the 60s and 70s.
Behind the
makes it quite tough.
Alpha 1, line up and wait, Nordic Chima Charlie.
Sometimes it's nice to have a challenge. And the Fokker F70 and the F100 that Just Flight are working on in the future for another product release at some point. They're going to be kind of the more modern versions of the Fokker F28. They will have an FMC and things like that, from what I understand. But they're still a little way away yet. Paul says, what's your favourite airport scenery in MSFS? You know, it's a bit too difficult to kind of pick. There's a lot of really incredible ones, aren't there? We look at Orbex Melbourne, that's stunning. Drzewiecki Designs with their Washington National Airport. Builds Heathrow and Stansted are really nice as well. There's lots to kind of pick from actually. It's difficult to choose. Even if you were to say pick a favourite airport scenery for each country of the world, that has decent payware for it, I think you would be struggling to even nail down 1 or 2 in some instances. You know, the States, the UK, and certainly across Europe as well, they've got spectacular scenery. Hamilton Island from AU scene is exceptional, isn't it? Really nice major aviator. Christopher saying, yeah, the MSFS ground friction and the way the nose gears and rudder work are a little bit wonky. It's partly why the Fenix have had issues on takeoff and landing. I hope it's fixed in MSFS 2024. Amazing taste, welcome. It is. Old one taken out, new one swapped in. Interestingly, yesterday, DPD was supposed to come and do the doorstep swap with the faulty one to give me a new Corsair issue, but they've actually not given. They're not actually due until Monday, so it's a really good job that I purchased the replacement when I did, and I'm just going to flog the Corsair one instead. Oh yeah, NZA Simulations Christchurch as well. Flight Beam Auckland, Flight Beam Wellington is stunning too. Aerosoft Brussels. So, you know, it's hard to just pin down one, isn't it?
Leave my airspace, radar, Crescent Sweden is offline, Monarch Unicom 122, definitely, bye-bye.
Monarch Unicom was 6536, thanks for the ATC, yeah, have a good day.
No worries, you too.
Back to the flight deck. Coming up to 2.6, we'll keep it going to 3.6 for our cruise altitude for today, and we've got 1228 now, so we'll flick that across, go active onto Unicom, and we're over the Baltic Sea already. Good question, Christopher, I'm not sure, let's find out. Oh, it does. Very whizzy. Complete with Wizz Air safety demonstration card as well. That'll do. I mean, what a difference compared to yesterday, eh? Takeoff, climb gate, flaps up, speed brake disarmed, landing lights and signs off. That's it, done. All the way through to top of descent. MPS Gaming says then we're going to be reaching the Swedish coast. We've got a big island to the right. Öland, very popular to visit for summer vacations. And that is, if we look at Valanta, afternoon Sam. Going to be that one there, right? Ren. EKRR. Is that it? Or is it... Oh, there it is, Öland, on the right hand side. We'll be passing over that in a little while. There it is. A little bit of weather down here actually around ESMA. Atlanta's great because you kind of get your bearings around some of the bigger cities around the world as you kind of navigate around. There we are at the moment. We've got Don Carlito Osprey 784 up the front. In fact, right up the front, MPS Osprey 598. Zooming along. Followed by Badger Osprey 919 flying offline in the wonderful Osprey Holidays livery. Mikhail, Scandinavian 459er. Oh, look at that. He's in the 737-600. What a little rocket that is. We've not flown that for a long time, have we? We need to get back into that. That was great fun. My goodness. The shortest takeoff run ever. 737-800 action for Osprey with Don Carlito. Followed by us. Osprey 495, Zugoku. There he is. What else have we got? Jack in the 747-8. Apparently. There goes my phone and my notepad and my pen. Whoops. Is he in the 748? Osprey 236 Alpha. I think he's just not corrected that on Volanta. Because that image there shows a 737-800. My goodness, look at that. It's so busy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 still at the gate. And 1 taxiing, 1 on the runway. That's Zato in the A321. Who else have we got? There was one there. Hugh, Osprey 5 Papa November. Pencil of Luke. Ah, it's the 757. Lovely. Yeah, we don't have that sadly in MSFS, so that's why we are missing that. Ascot 2205. Flying in a nice Royal Air Force livery, flying the flag. What else have we got here? We've got Ryan at 8 Foxtrot Romeo, Stansted to Gdansk. He's just landed, in fact. Osprey 722 Gav. Our resident Victorian. Are you guys called Victorians or Melburnians? Melbourne's in Victoria, isn't it? So. Ian, Osprey 2472. Late night for you guys over in Australia. Love that, boarding with passengers. Uh, 853392, I don't know what that is, there's no call sign or anything attached to that one. But yeah, there's our route for today. A lot of weather. That thunderstorm that I was speaking about earlier on, by the way, look at that. That is passing over the whole of the UK at the moment. This big band from north of Carlisle, in fact north of Dumfries, in fact, all the way across the Lake District, over Manchester, Stoke, Birmingham, down to Oxford, and currently it's passing London Heathrow as well, which I'm sure is frantically busy on VATSIM at the moment with that traffic. But we're okay, we're further north-east over the Baltics. How was the flight in the F-28? Sam's asking. Really good fun, but hard work. Hard work. John says his favourite airports tend to be smaller, regional, scenic airports with higher detail, like Queenstown, Innsbruck, etc. Rab says I'm between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Got it also. And he says always a late night for us. Hopefully, because the last couple of streams now have been an hour earlier than usual. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed that. How many hours do I have in the sim? Paul is asking. The last time I checked, it's just over 1,000 in the sim, I think, but I'll have to check the world menu again after the stream. There's Åland. Melbourne is the capital of Victoria. So, but then would you be deemed a Victorian? Or would you be like a Melburnian instead? Or both, I guess. First Officer Arthur says, I do wish to fly sooner than ever, hopefully. Give it a go. Not too late though, there's a whole queue of people flying along, so there's departures and things like that still taking place out of Gdansk. Christopher's saying Zagreb's really nice, but the surrounding area is a little bit boring. It's a very cool, it's a very little cool approaches and stuff. Victorian is a more popular term. Interesting. You know what we need to check out? Salt Lake City. It's been sat in my sim for the last week. Because last week we were meant to be we had the route ready for yesterday's F-28 flight, but development, things can be pushed back all the time with development and coding of aircraft and things like that, so I ended up missing the opportunity to do Salt Lake City. That was going to be yesterday, but we figured instead we'd fly a good old school Fokker F-28 route with that NLM livery. My goodness, it was a fun but tough experience, that F-28, really enjoyable. Can't wait to dive back into it, to be fair, because there's a lot of learning to be done. Andy says Queenslanders call Victorians Mexicans. What the heck? You're gonna have to explain that one. Why? Is it called? Because they come from the south of the border. Oh my god. Bloody brilliant. I thought it was because everybody seems to wear hats in the outback. I do love to go right into the deep end, Rav, yeah, 100%. That's sometimes the best way to learn some of these old school complex aircraft, isn't it? Throwing yourself in, adding that massive amount of pressure. I mean, yesterday at one point we had, was it 300 and something, 348 people watching at one point. When I kind of glimpsed at it, I stopped looking at that point because it added even more pressure to me. I could see Just Flight in the chat chatting away. I was thinking, oh my goodness, I can't stuff this up. Well, I mean, I might look for another wind, kind of a crosswind to land with. But to be fair, I think I'll be looking to maybe fly with another route with the Fokker F28, but perhaps with a headwind for arrival instead, just to kind of see how that works as well, or a light crosswind. Oh yeah, we'll glimpse across that. Yeah, the accidental shutdown of engine 2 in flight on the F28, but I think we nailed that one. I think we properly smoothed that out and made ourselves look very proficient at the time. Or so he says. It sounds like Just Flight enjoyed it anyway. I was responding to a little email today saying hopefully they enjoyed it and had a laugh as well. It seems like everybody did enjoy the stream yesterday, which is really good to see. Andy said he migrated from Queensland to Tazi. Best decision ever. Sato, yes. Check the Just Flight in development page. They are making a Fokker F70 and a Fokker 100 as well. They're going to be, by the looks of it, according to their in development page, they're combined. So the F70 and the 100 are kind of, they look like they're going to be part of one add-on. I don't know if it's going to be part of a bolt-on from the F28 or if it's going to be a complete standalone aircraft. I assume the latter, and so I'd assume that it would be a complete standalone package, probably the same price, because I've noticed the the 146 Professional from Just Flight is priced the exact same as the F28. So I would therefore also assume that their other products will follow suit as well, maybe, and stick to the same kind of same kind of pricing strategy, perhaps. Who knows? Yeah, the F28, definitely a remarkable experience, a remarkably unique experience as well. Christopher's waiting for news on the Avro RJ from Just Flight. Yeah, it's been a little while since we had any updates about that. Same with the F70 and F100. People have been asking whether or not Just Flight have got updates for that at the moment, and they've responded to a few comments, but with it saying, unfortunately not. No updates at this time. '78, mate, good afternoon. Welcome to the chat. Crikey, how far up can we go? Right into the roof. So, Swedish coast. There's that Swedish holiday destination that MPS was mentioning a moment ago, Öland. Or was it Öland? Bernie says it's ski season in Australia at the moment. It's flown a few ATR flights into Mount Hotham with snow active. Great fun. Big snow dump this weekend in Hotham for Grant as well in the chat there. Sam's saying hopefully more classics like the 727 and the 707 will come to the sim. Some old fashioned flying, other than just flight monitoring like in the A320. I would assume the bridge is meant to be here, right? Or there's that, maybe there's that little bit there and there's that kind of step across. Don't know actually, I wonder if there would be. No, doesn't seem to be any bridge. Let's quickly dive into this view. Oh no, because we're not outside the plen. Oh, that'll do. No. No bridge. Happy Mexican here. Hey, we're learning stuff every single stream. I had no idea that you guys were referred to as Mexicans in Australia by Queenslanders. That's quite remarkable. Take care, Andy. Enjoy your bushwalking tomorrow. Jack, you know what? Somebody asked that a little moment ago. I just can't. I can't pin it down. Yeah, I can't pin it down to either really, freeware and payware. There are so many great options for all of them that I think it's impossible to say this is my, you know, X, Y, and Z are my top 3 and number 1 is my favourite. I think it's impossible, realistically. Plus, you know, if you ask 5 people in a line that same question within the sim community, you'll probably get different answers from all of them as well, because it's very subjective. Christopher says at some point us Swedes have been called Mexicans by the Norwegians as well, probably because of the Swedes moving there to work for more money. Incubus saying, where would be the viewpoint in the cockpit that would match, the most closely match the real life field of view? Well, the sim doesn't really do the human eye very well, does it? That's the problem, because it's kind of like a camera view, which is a bit rubbish. It doesn't have any peripheral vision. You'd need 3 or 4 screens around the central one, so effectively for each window you would need a monitor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screens set up, kind of similar to that, all linked. That would be the only way to get yourself a proper field of view resembling real life. But this here is probably the closest we can get. And that is because if we look at this kind of center support strut on the glare shield for the windscreen here, you've got these 2 little kind of a red and a white ball. Effectively, if you're not in the optimal position where Airbus intend for you to sit when operating the aircraft, you'll actually see red, white and red as well. So if we move to the right a little bit, we're not in the optimum position here. Look, we can see the white ball on the right hand side on the captain's seat. Conversely as well, if you see how that red ball there, if you stare at that and we move across the flight deck here, there we go into the first officer's point of view, and this is the optimum position for the first officer because the captain's white ball, if you like, is hidden away. But if we come back a little bit, that's too far back. Why? Because that left white ball is visible again behind that red one there. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of a bit weird to kind of explain that. This is way too far forward so we can see the white ball, but you would never sit. No pilot would ever sit like this, especially when they're instrument flying, because they would have to be looking down like that. And it doesn't give you the peripheral vision. It's the only kind of flaw with simming, I guess. You need lots of screens to get that optimal position, but where it's set here for the captain is the perfect kind of spot, really. Christopher says, I'm intrigued by the Honeycomb Delta displays. Quite remarkable, aren't they? But my big question there is, how is it going to affect performance? Because I think from what I understood listening to that FS Expo announcement from them, they look spectacular. They look incredibly good, don't they? But I think they mentioned that they utilise these pop-up screens with some of the add-on aircraft, so you know where you can undock like the nav display. I don't know whether or not that would affect performance for some people or not significantly, having them onto the Honeycomb Delta permanently or not. I don't know. I guess the jury's out with that. We'll find out when they are ready. Whopper contrails at the back. Old school whiz livery. John says, who knew? I thought the balls were to hang my furry dice. Christopher says that's what the standby compass is for. David says, I thought it was via an app myself, but not sure. But how would they be able to read the displays? So they're just taking sim bars, are they? Or it'll be interesting to see how it works, really, and what it does, what the final product is going to look like as well. Looking forward to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Jack, are you? I think it's going to be exceptionally good. So, you know, Asobo have said themselves at FS Expo that they are basically at the absolute limit of what they can do with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 now. I guess, you know, the engine that they use for the sim, with everything they've done, they've squeezed every little corner of optimization and everything else out of it, and every bit of detail they can out of it. So I think that is the reason behind certainly transition across to a updated MSFS 2024. I'm confident with what they've said. They've said nearly all add-ons will be able to transfer across, and that to me is good enough. Certainly, you know, some of these high-fidelity payware aircraft like Fenix A320, the PMTG 737s, the Leonardo Mad Dog as well, some of the Just Flight products. Hopefully they all port across without issue, nice and seamlessly. Oh, look at that, really dirty. That's fantastic. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it, to be fair, MSFS 2024, and really, when you think about it, it's actually not long to wait at all for it. Yeah, I guess you're right there, David. They're saying that at the end of the day, the sim is just loads of rapidly changing bars. So just read them and stick it in the display. Perhaps that's how the Honeycomb Delta will work. James asking, would it go better with VR? It would, but then you need to know exactly where everything is. You'd have to have your hand on the mouse and it'd be seamless, wouldn't it? But then you need to then know all your buttons on your yokes, your throttles, just by touch, because you can't physically see them when you've got a VR headset on, which is kind of one of the things that stops me using VR. Christopher saying sim bars would kind of kill it for me, as it would mean that we might not see the correct display for the correct aircraft, unless Honeycomb won't spend days making perfect Airbus, Boeing, other graphics. Yeah, I can't see them making exact replicas for all of them, which is why I thought maybe it would be, you know, where you undock this, it would then take the display and stick it on the Delta. Same with the PFD. That's how I kind of assumed it might work with these undockable displays. Alright, we'll wait and see. It'll be interesting to see what they finally come up with as a final product, really. Very expensive though. Stuart says, have you tried using the EFB in the Fenix on an external device like an iPad? Quite a few have, but I personally haven't. And yeah, David, undocking does hit frame rate really horribly. That's why I kind of hope they don't do it that way. Jack's saying the graphics look incredible for MSFS 2024, but he's concerned that his PC will need an upgrade. So one of the things that they've spoke about for MSFS 2024 is the fact that they're very keen to try and keep the recommended and the minimum spec the same as MSFS 2020 at the moment, and they're going to achieve that by pumping even more data, even more detail and graphical graphical wonder, I guess, into the sim. It's all going to be done via streaming, so more of it is going to live in the cloud, and as you're flying along, it will be feeding even more data in relation to into the actual simulation into your PC via a data connection with the online cloud. The one thing that bothers me with that is the fact that, you know, when we've had issues with live weather in the past where it's created crash to desktops or weird erroneous behaviour in the sim, if more of the actual sim package is in the cloud that will be streamed as you're flying along, if you lost connection for any reason, I would then take that to also assume that we're likely to then see more issues like that become apparent. It's either that or they're going to absolutely boost all of the Azure servers and make flawless, so they never kind of fail. Because at the minute, like Sam's saying, the data connections into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 aren't the best, are they? They drop out every now and again. Christopher, I just saw your DM. Is that about changing the shadows to 8K? Because I've already done that. Still get the weird shadowy fuzziness in some instances. Yeah, Steve, MSFS 2024 will be a heck of a lot more reliant on your broadband, A, being reliable, but B, having a better connection speed, upload and download as well, because the sim will have to upload stuff to the cloud as you're simming whilst it's downloading to continue your simming experience, if that makes sense. I don't know how they're going to pull it off, but it'll be interesting. Rav says that he's got an Osprey and Scandinavian Air Service on his tail. They're going to no doubt breeze past. Yes, you're in the 146, aren't you? Dan says, I'm curious what airliners they would bring, because they've said that there are quite a few, and if all of them are at least 787, 747 quality, I mean, my guess here, and this is a big guess, but I would probably put 50 quid on it. The Aerosoft Twin Otter and the Aerosoft A320 Neo, I think, are going to be included. Who knows? Imagine if they turned around to, you know, the Kuro 787-8. Imagine if they turn around and say, give us that, we'll pay you £1 million, we'll have that off you, thanks very much. And then bam, it's part of the official sim package. How cool would that be? Yeah, I reckon the Twin Otter's kind of disappeared from all sale, hasn't it? And no one said anything about it still. So I think that's going to come back again with the release of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 as an official product. Or an official aircraft within the sim, I think. And I then also think that the A330 Neo from Aerosoft will be part of the sim pack as well. That's what I think, that's what I feel. Yeah, I'd probably put a bit of money on that. I don't know, what do you guys think? What aircraft do you think will be included in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 beyond the offering that we've already got in the base pack of MSFS 2020? Next, the Sim Whisperer. James, no, so as we were saying a moment ago, the developers, Sobo, have maxed out what they can achieve with Microsoft Flight Simulator in its current form. That's why they're moving to MSFS 2024. Those of you in shiny green, have we decided something yet? We've got three options. No, we've got two options, it seems. David suggested a route in the club lounge around Canada. Multipass saying something like US Air would be nice. Both good options. Need to know exactly what kind of routes, though, we would be looking to do for them. Living on a Player says perhaps the A320. Amaze Taste has a long shot guess of an A380 from Fly-by-Wire. Captain KV, though, by contrast, saying I hope Fly-by-Wire's A380 isn't sold to a Sobo. Hugh says the H125, despite the blades turning in the incorrect way in the trailer. Of course you'd notice that. That's a good spot. That's a very good spot. And now everybody watching will never be able to unsee it. Would I recommend the Aerosoft CRJ, Tobias is asking? Thinking on purchasing the aircraft, but I'm unsure if you're going to enjoy it or not. It's a really good little regional hopper. Great fun. You have to learn it though. You have to kind of give it the time. I have done some tutorials for the Aerosoft CRJ. Specifically, episode 1, 2 and 3. They're kind of the core ones for learning the Aerosoft, and that will get you started quite nicely. But yeah, can I recommend it? Yeah, absolutely. That was actually, when it released, that was my favourite aircraft in the sim for a little while. And we haven't flown it for a little while, but it is good fun. CDB, hello. Will there be any extras for MSFS 2024? I was under the impression that it was basically a graphics update and a few other things, but will there be extra aircraft? Yeah, good question. So they've put out a little bit of comms in relation to it. They've basically said that there are likely to be, well, there are going to be more aeroplanes included. So that's where I think the A330neo from Aerosoft, and that's where I think the Twin Otter is going to end up, inside MSFS 2024. Probably, dare I say, in a premium deluxe package, knowing Microsoft. So if you want the A330neo from Aerosoft, it would probably be released in MSFS 2024 at a guess, but probably under a premium deluxe package. that's probably how this is going to play out, isn't it? Dan says the Beluga will be in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 for sure, and don't forget in the trailer we had the Airbus A400M, fantastic military cargo aircraft. That's going to be great fun. What else was in there? My goodness, a couple of firefighting things, some helos. Yeah, the H125. Grant says that his concern for MSFS 2024 is a clean installation. He predicts dramas. Especially, you know, can you imagine how frantic the release day is going to be? They're going to have to boost the servers beyond anything they've probably ever done before at Microsoft. Maybe fire up an extra power center, big nuclear power grid or something like that to keep it all online. A10 Thunderbolt 2, Dan says. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how good they all look, though, and kind of what level of detail they come in at as well. Because if they're quite default, like the experience that we had with the 747 in MSFS when it released, it's going to be a bit disappointing, isn't it? But the thing with MSFS, I get disappointed with military aeroplanes. I know there's DCS for combat flight sim kind of things, but to just fly around in an A10 kind of aimlessly defeats the point for me. I just don't really understand those aircraft add-ons in the sim anymore. Especially the gun noise on the A10, yeah, Christopher, absolutely. We don't really have any cargo options at the minute, James. That's the other issue, isn't it? We don't have many cargo options at all, in fact, in Microsoft Flight Simulator. So I think that's probably why I live in the airliners more. But I prefer airliner stuff than cargo ops anyway. I think that's probably where my preference would go. What do we got? Enal 06 is still planned. we're going to click here onto Parallel 42 Flow Pro, and I'm just going to type the ICAO code to see if we've got an ATC. We don't. So it looks like we'll be arriving on Unicom, that's fine. We're only just coming up to halfway now. And then with that, we can have a wee look at the charts. See what the weather's doing. So Gdansk now has actually changed. Runway 29, all of a sudden, look at that, it's got an 8 knot tailwind. So in all likelihood, the departures now are flicked over to runway 11 at Gdansk. But we can forget about that element of the flight today because we are heading now into Vigra. Runway 06, headwind of 13 knots. Loki says hello, by the way, Chief Woofer of Osprey Airways. Runway 06, 3 knot crosswind and a 13 knot headwinds. We're planning for that on Zulu runway 06 via Lapeb. So, what do we got here? Abiti at or above flight level 140. 10,200 minimum safe altitude there, by the looks of it, MSA. So we'll be above that. There's a peak there, 8,100. Badly at or above 10,000 feet. So they've dropped the flight level. We're going to therefore find out what the transition altitude is going to be. So in all likelihood, then that's going to be on local pressure into Vigra. 291 degrees outbound from Badly, down to 7,000 feet by Alpha Lima 804, then down to 5,000 at Laped for the clearance limit. RP Zulu 06 in from Laped, 5,000 feet. 332 degrees to Uveva. Max 230 knots, 3,000 feet there for the initial approach fix. And then turning inbound 062 degrees for the approach. Straight in approach to runway 06. Should be really scenic actually as well, potentially. Airport elevation of 70 feet. Runway elevation 35 feet. And minimums down first at the bottom of the chart. 600 feet. CDFA, so they've already added the 50 for the go-around, so that's really good, useful. If we were in an aircraft that didn't have such a good climb performance for a go-around, then the minimums would be 1060 instead. Circle to land, Cat B and D not authorised south of the airport, interesting. The other option for us, if we remain on Unicom, would be the VOR. So that'd be stepping in from Uveva, and instead of going straight in with a line from Uveva onto the final approach, we'd actually continue 347 degrees to Gubla and then turn in 077 degrees for a VOR approach on a course of 078 towards the Vigra VOR there. At that point, autopilot would be off, or we'd be either landing or declaring a missed approach and flying as 10 Demi Arc to Tomno for a hold. So there's another option for the Vigra approach, but we're going to do as charted and as kind of planned for. Sticking for that Zulu RNAV via Laped. Always think about the arrival as well though. We've still got a way to go of course, but 06, 2,314 meters for the runway length, or if you're using feet, 7592. We're not going to meet Delta at all. We might make Alpha, actually, to vacate there. Otherwise, we've got to go all the way down to the bottom of runway 24, turn at the turning point, and then backtrack to vacate Alpha. And there's a little handful of stands sprinkled around there too. We've got a really nice freeware scenery for Alesund Vigra, and it's available on flightsim.to, and it looks really spectacular. So I've never flown into here before at all, and I've never experienced this freeware scenery either. So both the departure and the airport scenery, first for the channel today, looking really good though for some freeware. Hopefully you guys are going to be really impressed with it as well. We'll see what that looks like when we get there. What other charts have we got? So, Enal, VFR. Taxi charts, no SIDS, no charts available for the category under reference either. That's all of them. Alesund is so scenic and freeware scenery, also top tier, Hergy says. Hergy, by the way, if you're not sure, is the freeware developer of that remarkably good freeware Oslo Gardermoen scenery and a couple of others as well on flightsim.to. James says the new P3D, I don't think you should mix military jets with passenger jets with active ordnance on a simulator, because you'll always have those trolls who try to shoot you down your A320 just because he can. But then if that's the kind of sim experience that that person wants, as long as they're not on a network like VATSIM, which they would be banned from really quickly anyway, then I don't see any harm in it. I just see it pointless having a, you know, here's a shiny F-35 in the sim, looks amazing, but you can't shoot anything, or like the H-145 helicopter with quote unquote missiles. They just have like lighter missives that shoot out from it. It just seems a bit pointless. At least they tried to simulate damage though as well. Still no word on the High Performance Group super tanker. They got pulled from sail, didn't it, all of a sudden? I wonder what the situation was there. They said that they were going to kind of explain at some point, and then they still haven't, so something dramatic has happened with that. Grant says, I'm predicting some holds for us all. We've got traffic closely packed together. If you try and sort it early in the cruise, then it won't be an issue, but otherwise folks bunching up will have to enter the hold at Uveva. There's a hold at Abiti as well, actually. That'd probably be the better one. Dan says the super tanker is in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 for sure. It just fits with what Sobo is bringing with missions and stuff. It could be. Maybe that's kind of why they haven't been able to say anything yet, because Microsoft haven't announced the official kind of aircraft lineup, which is why there's complete radio silence on the Twin Otter, and there's radio silence with the super tanker suddenly been pulled from sail as well. So I reckon you could be on the money there, Dan. Maybe the super tankers have also now been purchased into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. It would make perfect sense, wouldn't it? It's got the little fire missions and things like that. And MSFS already has a 747-8. That's all the super tanker did. Added a little panel here. That's it. BT in 240. And let's think about the arrival a little bit, shall we? We've still got a fair way to go, to be fair, but landing performance. Runway 06, but in the Fenix it's 07. Interesting. That's a bit weird. We'll go for dry. Wind 050 at 13. There's the METAR at the moment at Vigra as of 12:20 Zulu. So the latest one as of about 15 minutes ago now. Wind 050 at 13. Cav OK. Temperatures 18 degrees Celsius. Dew point 13. QNH 1024. I'll put that in the live chat with our little METAR command as well, so you guys can see it. And I'll run the TAF METAR, the TAF command too. And the TAF is the Terminal Aerodrome Forecast, so that will allow us to kind of look at the METAR, but also look at the forecast to establish whether or not the winds and the weather are likely to change, and if so, how they might change. So between 12 and 21Z on the 8th today, the TAF suggests the mean winds are going to be around 050 at 12. Now currently the METAR at the moment at Vigra in the live chat there says 060 at 11. so we're not expecting much change at all with the weather. Both say cab OK. That looks pretty good. So I think we're quite happy there with that. If we look at, we're tracking our flight on New Sky today. Let's ping that up very briefly. Estimated landing weight 57,800. So we'll pop that in. 57.8 tons. Hit enter. We're going to go low auto brake, max reverse, full flap, and that's given us performance calculations of this. So 1937 for the stop margin. If we go to medium auto brake, which probably would be the required here for this runway length. I know at Bristol, for example, it's minimum of medium auto brake for like EasyJet when they're landing at Bristol. Not too dissimilar for the runway length here. That will have us a stop margin of 1400, so that looks good. Medium auto brake. Supposedly no difference between idle and max reverse. So we'll do idle reverse because I do have weird issues with it at the moment. So I'll just arm them ready. And that should have us land quite nicely. Vacate then at Alpha straight to the terminal. Lovely jubbly. Let's get rid of that. Not let me click it. Come on, plane. There we go. Hi with Tom. Welcome. Maze Taste says, looking to buy some rudder pedals to go with my Honeycomb yoke and Bravo throttle. Would you suggest I hold out for the Charlie pedals or potentially use the Thrustmaster or similar? So that's a good question actually. It's one that we've discussed a few times in the channel. Namely more recently as well, because I've purchased the Thrustmaster Boeing yoke and I've now also got the Honeycomb Bravo, which is incredibly good. Really, both actually remarkably nice. But the general consensus from most people are that the Thrustmaster TPRs are way too expensive. If you can afford that and that's what you want, they are probably the most realistic you can get by a long shot at the moment. But most people seem to have the Turtle Beach Velocity 1 rudder pedals, and I've not heard anything bad about those, to be fair. So I think that is probably what I would end up purchasing if I was looking to get some new rudders, which I might do at some point in the future. I would most likely be looking at the Turtle Beach rudder pedals for an upgrade. I mean, I've still got my old really cheap Thrustmaster T-Flight rudder pedals. They are crap. They are so bad, but they do their job really well still, and they're a very basic entry-level rudder pedal set. But if I was to buy another set of rudders, then the next pair of rudder pedals that I would purchase will be the ones that I would likely keep for the next sort of 5+ years. Greg says, are we planning a return flight? Unfortunately not, no. Weather permitting, I'm supposed to be firing up the barbecue in about an hour and a bit, so yeah, unfortunately not. The next stream will be on Wednesday, and that's going to be Just Flight Fokker F28 Professional Release Day. Very exciting. So we'll be diving into that. We'll be flying a nice cool route. S. Pedersen, welcome on board. Thanks for subscribing. Bernie, have a good night. Waspo says, I picked up a set of Thrustmaster TPR rudder pedals from good old Fleabay, 6 months old, and used a handful of times. Got the seller down to 325 quid, bargain, they're really good. That's an incredible price, my goodness. They're like 500 and something quid brand new, aren't they? The thing is, I'd worry about parting with that amount of cash on eBay, and then yeah, ending up with just like an empty box of tissues or something like that, or like a brick in a box to add the weight. That has happened before. It wouldn't be the last time either, I'm sure. Gal's got top of descent in 30. You've done well, you're miles ahead. You're 130 miles ahead of us at the minute. I mean, the Honeycomb Bravo at £149 for those of you in the UK. I don't know if it's still available as an offer on Currys at the moment, but my goodness, what a good price. So pleased with them. There's something incredibly premium about the feel of the Honeycomb Bravo. What did we have? 050 at 13. We'll leave that as it is. 055 at 13. Temperatures 18. QNH 1024. Transition level, flight level 70. Mikhail, no way. People still departing Gdansk. Oh my goodness. Let me just get up to date with the screenshots. I'll add that one there. We've got our first pilot ahead already into descent. MPS Osprey 598 already heading into Vigra. Followed hot by Mikhail, Scandinavian 459er. Badger Osprey 919. Don Carlito Osprey 784. Yeah, there he is, Osprey 784 again. Oslo Garderman's coming up actually. We'll spot that in a moment as we fly over it. Zagoku. Jack Osprey 236 Alpha. Norwegian 2 Mike Charlie. Hugh and Zato neck and neck. Osprey 5 Papa November. Oh, there's Hergy again. Nos 6 Papa Lima. Scatmill. That's Scott. Ascot 2205. Ian Osprey 2472. He's only just at Ulland now. Osprey 1964 has just departed. My goodness, he's only just over the Baltic Sea. Incredible. And Gav Osprey 722 has only just got airborne. Wow. That's incredible. You guys better step on it. If you're not clacking, you're slacking. Mach 80, zoom zoom. Certainly in the 737 it can be done. Headset died, had to set up another one, Gav says. Oof. 3 restarts of V-Pilot later? My god. Yoep says, maybe I'll do some flying around Vigra in my brand new Stratoliner while you guys arrive. I wonder what you would end up model matched as though, that's the only thing. You'd probably be an Asobo blob, like A340 608, whatever on earth it is. Commentator, good afternoon, welcome. And yeah, I've got the Bravo now. Yesterday was the second ever flight live with it. Really, really good. Incubus and Jack, by the sounds of it, both never heard that saying before. If you're not clacking, you're slacking. You'll be having the speed. Right up on the barber pole there. Mach 82. That's if you're clacking. If you're not clacking, you're slacking. Grant's nods to Mike Charlie. Right in the middle of the pack. Ashton Anders, good morning, buddy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Thanks for flying along today. Hope you're well. Really good, yeah, but not much help in a crazy crosswind. I'm gonna blame that was my second ever flight live with the Boeing TCA yoke as well, actually. So I'm gonna say that was part of the sort of cock up yesterday. I think that plus my poor rudder control. I've got to learn a little bit better of a rudder technique with the Boeing yoke and on my rudder pedals as well. I've got to kind of try and find that happy ground. The F-28 yesterday, very low wing aeroplane, so there's almost no ground clearance at all for it anyway. I think I've just got to get used to it again, so I'm going to keep flying it hard. Ari as well, Osprey 1964 is here too, welcome. CDB's asking about the overlay. It's Volanta Premium Stream Overlay. Ian says he's blaming the new V-Pilot update. I was transmitting but couldn't get through to the frequency. Interesting. Are you on the beta? Or the stable V-Pilot? Because I updated yesterday. It was a 2.6.0 beta, something like that. Roman's asking about whether or not I changed a new motherboard as well, or just the card. So I've got an entirely new computer. It's been 3 months old. My PSU was faulting out though, sending sparks out the back the other day. So that is what I've changed. I put a little reel on Instagram for those of you who want to see that as well. Very proud of myself being able to do that. Doing tech things for the first time and not breaking them all. Where's Oslo Garderman? There she is, look at that whopper. We've not flown there for a while either. I think maybe the last time we flew there we destroyed a BA-146. Rumour has it that runway is still being resurfaced today. I'm also disappointed in myself because I thought of a really good... yesterday when Yoet cleared us for takeoff and he said about the trucks being on standby, I'm kicking myself because I should have responded that I'm required to only have my injuries dressed with the caramel from a stroopwafel. Keeping in theme with the KLM stuff yesterday, or the NLM stuff yesterday in fact. Fergie says, funniest thing looking on VATSIM is when someone flies some small stall plane going 60 knots and it model matches as a bigger Sobo blob. Yeah, or they're flying a helicopter and it renders in as a 737 that's hovering. I know, Rab. I know. Basically, it means we're going to have to fly again out of Amsterdam with Yoep controlling, just so I can do the really poor joke. Keep smashing the like button, folks, if you're enjoying today's live stream. If you're new to the channel, warm welcome. Hit subscribe as well, big shiny red button down below. And then say hi in the live chat. Why not? Enal radar. Ooh, very exciting. And we've got ATIS 12865. Adrian, thank you very much. Providing some ATC for us, very exciting. And the call sign is Mu Approach. There's one for you. How would you pronounce this? I put it in the live chat. One 29325. Set. That's ready. That's what I'm going for, Zato. Moor approach. I mean, part of me was expecting it to be Vigra approach. I'm quite surprised. should probably choose our minimums as well, actually. There's the charts. We mentioned it, didn't we? 600. There we go. So, Sander, thank you. The O sound is pronounced the same as I as in bird. So, mere approach. Look at us, speaking Norwegian. 600 feet for the Barrow. Note that it only gives you the one option here because it's the only one applicable to this approach. It's one thing that's really cool with the Fenix. Some of the kind of system depth with it. I'm saying the Norwegian fjords are spectacular. Yeah, there's a lot of promise for incredible views on this approach. Really, really stunning views. Looking forward to it. Lopson, hello. How much utilised RAM have you got now? I have a PC like you, only 2 times 16 gigabytes RAM. Let me go Control Alt Task Manager thingy, and I will find out. Performance, standby. RAM or VRAM? RAM. So currently in use 30 gigabytes of RAM, and I've got 64 gig. Yeah, bird, murmur, mur. Mur approach. Thanks, Sander. Yeah, so Lupson at the minute, 64 gig of RAM, 5200 megahertz DDR5 RAM. And it's utilising 29.7 gigabytes. It's got committed at the moment it's got committed 53.3 gigabytes out of 67.1 apparently, and cached 32.2 gigabytes. Available 33.3. Hopefully that helps stat wise. The GPU's is cruising. It's at 42% utilisation. And the CPU's at 32%. Probably more the stream than anything else. Oh, that's a point actually. I just remembered. So one of the things that I've done with the Fenix post RTX4090 upgrade with the new computer is move the display of the Fenix aircraft, all the displays across to the CPU graphics card, which is an AMD Radeon graphics card, and it's utilising 24% of that at the moment, and all that's job is kind of managing the displays. Nice. Yeah. It depends on what settings you're using, Lupson, as well, don't forget. So I'm running the sim at 4K 60 frames per second with this new computer, but I'm trying to push it as much as I can so that I can get a whole load of other kind of detail and level of detail, depth, and lovely views as we fly along around the world. Eagle, welcome to you, saying you used to work as a ATCO in Vigra Tower. Awesome. What was it like working there then? So is it similar to kind of, you know, if you live in the Lake District in the UK, you don't really appreciate it as much as maybe somebody visiting? Is it very similar to that with Vigra? Old frame generation, that's what that flash is, using the NVIDIA frame generation thing within MSFS. Every time I click out of the screen, when I click back into the sim screen, it kind of jutters the frame a little bit. Look at that. Heading towards the snow. Most likely Rab, yeah. Egos is kind of dull, so more to Oslo Garderman. Wow. How are you finding Oslo then? Mega busy. Quite the contrast to Vigra, I'm sure. And then I guess a side question to that then is, bearing in mind you're a tower controller, do you then also connect to the VATSIM network as a controller yourself as well, providing kind of realistic expertise to the VATSIM system? So I know a lot of real controllers do that. We've got Vigra Tower online as well. In fact, we've got Approach and Tower. Epic. So Mir Approach and Vigra Tower 129325. Okay, I think it's time we try and actually get the voice ATIS for once. Pretty much Wasp, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Don't forget, the UK airspace is so congested. Everything is so disciplined and strict. The US have got a lot more space. They've got kind of a lot of departures as well, which are just vectors. Even from massive airports like JFK, Chicago O'Hare. You could have the O'Hare 6, is it O'Hare 6 departure or something like that? At Chicago, it's just takeoff, fly runway heading, get vectored to your transition. That's it, and then head off en route. The UK would never do anything like that. You look at Heathrow and Gatwick and Stansted, they all share a very busy corner of the UK. All the Stansted traffic and the Gatwick traffic get routed and fit through and around and above and below all the Heathrow traffic inbound and outbound. So it's a heck of a lot of work for controllers in the UK by comparison, I guess. Just the lack of space, I guess. Lassie, welcome. Vigra 128650.
This is Vigra Information Bravo. Transition level 80.
Interesting, because it kind of auto-tuned before I flicked it across there. Really weird.
Tower 118.1.
We'll let it cycle.
Wind 050 degrees
60 miles to top of the
13
descent, and I'll bring up
temperature 18, 2.13.
the ATIS for you guys to read there on the screen as well, using Parallel 42 Flow Pro. We'll have a listen. I'll note down
Vigra Information Bravo.
The information.
1220 Zulu. Expect RNP Zulu approach. Runway in use 06. Transition level 80. For clearance and startup, contact Tower 118.1. Wind 050 degrees 13 knots. Cab OK. Temperature 18, 2.13. QNH 1024.
Information Bravo.
This is Vigra Information Bravo.
Cool. So we've wrote down everything relevant there. We'll get rid of him.
RNP Zulu approach.
We might leave that on actually, VHF2 for now, so it has the split stack. We'll just make sure that we are on VHF1 for call there, 1228 at the moment. Enter destination data. We've already checked all of this, let's just clear it off. 050 at 13, wasn't it? We'll just punch that in, like so. Transition level 80, so that transition flight level there needs to change. We'll change that like so. QNH, temperature, wind, transition, approach speed is pre-calculated by the Airbus, and Barrow, our minimums are set. RNAV Zulu 06 is input, and we've checked the data and briefed. Wasp, trying to learn VATSIM. Have a little look at my VATSIM tutorials. Got loads of videos that kind of help you get started, get a little bit confident with it. So do take a good look at those, dive into them. Cythera, good afternoon, buddy. Welcome, welcome. Very well, thanks. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's Fokker F28 preview stream from Just Flight on the channel. Really, really fun. 129325. And coming up now, we've got spectacular views. Look at this. coastline up there ahead. So Vigra is through there somewhere. Polaris is online, just logged on. Borrega, my god, full ATC into Vigra. Check us out, this is very exciting. 12155. 121 55. Okay, here we go. Thanks Daniel as well. All of our controllers today. Love it. Polaris Control, good evening, Wiz 6536, flight level 360, currently 30 track miles south of Ufgug. Sledge, oi oi, welcome.
Wiz 6536, Polaris Control, hello.
Good to hear, Wasp, saying it was your tutorials that actually started me off on the VATSIM path. Your tutorials up there are with the best, and my go-to if I want to learn something. Really nice to hear, thank you very much. Beast Boy says, where can you buy Gdansk Airport? On Orbex. Go to Orbex Direct. Ooh, I know what we need to do.
Charlie to Romeo Golf, so that is hello,
medium auto brake.
1505.
Okay, I hope you guys are ready for this. Rab's saying it's a stunning approach. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to sort the ATC volume out there on B-Pilot.
Polaris Control, good evening, Osprey 495, flight level 380.
It's going to make other pilots a bit louder, but it's just so I can hear the controller a little bit more. If you're wondering what we're doing,
6536, clear to BT1 Quebec, arrival when ready, descent flight level 120.
Clear to BT1 Quebec arrival, and when ready, descend flight level 120, was it 6536? So, descend when ready. He's given us the star, they're BT1 Quebec, that's what we've already planned for, which is good. That's this. BT Bradley Alpha Lima 804 Lapper, and he's told us descend when ready, flight level 120. We need to cross a BT Attleborough flight level 140, so it's pointless us now going, we've been told to descend, boom, hit open descent, down we go, because we're going to end up way too low, certainly with the terrain ahead of us, and we will then end up flying level for a little longer. So all we can do is when we reach top of descent, allow the aeroplane to descend for us. Now the last time I flew with a VNAV in Fenix, it was a bit weird, so we're going to keep an eye on it. We've now got 20 miles to top of descent. We're going to reset the flight control panel down to 120, which is our cleared limit for the descent. Oops, too far. That was a big jump. Set. And just before we hit that, we've got to give the aircraft chance with the VNAV. So, about 5 miles before, we're going to enter managed descent mode. We'll go to VNAV path. The throttles will come down a little bit, and then we'll begin a descent. We'll hopefully be just below the profile. The aeroplane will then work it out for us. Patrick says just in time, yeah.
The
descent, by the way, 3000 at Uveva, and then final descent is 3.4 degrees for the glide path angle from 8 DME. So just before we reach this, we're going to go into flight plan. Is it in here? No, it's not. It's on that one. Fix info. Reference fix. Was it runway 06?
84 identified flight level 120. Descent flight level 110 for now. Expect
runway 06. Trying to remember the all the different bits here. Radial and radius. So radius is the distance. We want 8. That'll do us.
Charlie 2 Romeo Golf. Expect LS01 left.
And that will give us further into the approach here.
Given Century 84 correction. Expect 01 right.
I expect 01 right, it's going to sound 8.
I think I need to go ENAV 06, don't I? That should give us a fix ring. When we get a bit closer and it draws it in, let's go to managed mode now. 5 miles, look for top of descent. Managed descent with the yellow dot. Down we go. Wesley, welcome. Patrick's at work, but nothing to do. You have something to do now. Sit back and enjoy the descent.
Scanner 384, clear direct into.
Clear direct into Scanner 782.
Charlie 0 Nicole, please entry above the transition, clear Alesund 4090.
Coast up ahead.
Scanner 7384, please enter 5000 feet, QNH 1022.
Up to 5000 QNH 1022, Scanner 7834.
Control, Baltic.
There's that VNAV profile there.
Good afternoon, sir. Inbound. Take one next SC bound.
Yeah, Baltic 9219er, Polaris Low, squawk 7035.
Latte. 5000.
Squawk 7035. Air Baltic 9219er.
Lowest control, this is Osprey 236 Alpha, request descent.
Osprey 236 Alpha, flight level 120.
7 flight level 120, Osprey 236 Alpha, thanks.
3000. I'm going to set that there. Now that's going to reset our top of descent, and that means we're actually above the glide path thing there. We're warning for more drag, so it's got it a little wrong. And we're going to bring the speed brake out to that halfway point.
Osprey 5 Papa November, confirm OBT 1.
We'll be back on the path in a moment. In the meantime, I'm going to go quickly to 1024 for the QNH. By the way, I probably am going to have
Polaris, good afternoon.
a deduction of some points on Blue Sky when we do arrive. So I did forget to go to standard pressure and get rid of the landing lights after departure. We got sidetracked chatting. Flight to 10 for the descent.
BT 1 Quebec arrival, Nordic Chima Charlie.
Look at that. Very nice.
Given 7384, descent via INSA transition.
Listening all the time for our call sign.
INSA transition cleared out of 01 right, Scanner 7834.
Osprey 598 has gone around, Rab says. Oof. It's either that or MPS is needing the Coast Guard a bit.
Blocked. Polaris low, Nordic 527,
A BT? Flight level 236, my goodness, absolutely not. Screw the VNAV, this doesn't work properly.
Heading 300 for traffic. That's 300 for traffic, Nordic 527.
And Polaris Control, good evening. Osprey 4434 at flight level 340, requesting descent.
Osprey 4434, Polaris, I can't give it descent just yet. So for now, I'll clear to BT 1 Quebec.
That'll do, let's get the seatbelt signs on.
Clear
Being gentle with that rate of descent.
Arrival.
Every time I use the VNAV in this, it always seems balked.
Nordic Chima Charlie, request descent.
Going 208, Polaris, hello, number 1 for ground standby.
Nordic Chima Charlie, approaching top of descent.
Nordic 2 Mac Charlie, descent level 120.
Down to 120, Nordic Chima Charlie.
Nordic 537, squawk 2037.
2037, I'm sorry.
With 6536, contact approach 129.325.
Approach 129.325 was 6536, thanks ATC, good night. 129.325, we got Bravo, so you need to know the ATIS information, the aircraft type code, and what we're doing. So we're at BT at the moment, flight level 240, down to 12. That's a point. Yeah, transition level was 8, wasn't it? Mirror approach, good evening, Wizz Air 6536, inbound with Bravo A320, descending BT, flight level 220 for 120.
With 6536, hello, Møre approach. Expect RMP approach on the cushion RMP Zulu approach on the 06. And flight level 100.
Expect RMP Zulu approach from runway 06 and continue descent flight level 100 with 6536.
Osprey 598, contact tower 118.1, follow.
Contact tower 118, decimal 1, seal.
1181.
Osprey 784.
That's the next frequency.
Have transition cleared RMP Zulu approach on 06. Descent according to procedure.
Next constraints at or above flight level 100 for Vadley.
Procedure 784.
We maintain 2,500 foot per minute for now. That's going to hold us at 280, and then we can level off a little bit to kind of remove our speed, get rid of some of that energy of the aeroplane. A little while. Look at this. Not a lawyer's asking with VATSIM, do the controllers need to be in the country of the airports that they provide ATC for? No, not at all. You can pick whichever VATSIM ATC community you want to train and be part of, really. David in the live chat, he was with the UK service for a little while. He's now moved to Canada on VATSIM, but he's in the UK.
Osprey 595, hello, Møre approach, expect RMP approach from a 06.
Expect RMP approach 06, Osprey 495.
With 06, 536, descend 7,000 feet via SID, cushion via star, QNH 1024.
7,000 via star, QNH 1024 over there, 6536. That's really nice, look at that. Spectacular scenery. Looks like we're kind of getting routed through this valley a little bit, actually, out to the coast, and Vigra is over there. 7,000, let's set that. Get a bit of detent out as well for the ground spoilers. I'm going to let that speed trickle down now as well. I want to be, I don't know, I'll set 245. Seatbelt signs are on. We don't need the lights yet for a little while. Auto brake is set to medium. We've briefed for the missed approach. Let me just load something up as well. The controller's just sent me something. It's pretty cool. How can I do this? Go away, Edge. There we go. Right, so we've got the VATSIM scope from the controller here. Hopefully I can display this. Stand by. There. So that is us all flying in at the moment. Stand by, there we go. There's Osprey 784. Osprey 598 is on a go around. Wizz Air 6536, that's us. And then Osprey 495 behind on the scope. That's the controller client's scope
Osprey
at the moment.
784, contact tower 118.1 slow.
Really cool, thanks for sending that across, Adrian.
784, thank you for the UTC.
Pretty neat. 2,500. 7,000. So actually we can round this descent off a little bit. We'll go for 2,000 foot per minute. In fact, let's go to 1,600 foot per minute, and we'll get rid of the spoilers, just as the aircraft's now warning us of it. Good point, well made there, David. Actually, they're saying to, not a lawyer, asking about VATSIM differences and things. Just consider the time difference.
536, descend 5,000 feet via start.
Send 5,000 via the star 6536. It can bring issues with timing for training sessions. It's not a way to confuse, really. It's a good point you make there, David. So pick an area that you can kind of make work, because you do need to be trained by the VATSIM division that you're going to be joining. So if you pick somewhere like New Zealand for your training, you're going to have to align your training sessions with somebody that's plus 14 hours ahead via time zone if you're in the UK, which can be, for some, unworkable. Let's enjoy some more of these fjord views just for a moment before we've got to stay in the flight deck to keep everything up to date. Josh says, looks like the last aircraft is only just entering Sweden. My god. We've got a lot of plane spotting to do when we land then. Speeds below 250, crossing through 10,000 feet. Pop the landing lights on and the runway turn-off lights on. Seatbelt signs are on already. And it'll be a ding to the crew for 10,000 feet. So it'll be a couple of minutes to landing now. Flight directors are on. 7,000 feet is what we've been given, isn't it? Birth page. Yeah, we're going to go to local pressure now. As we descend, we're going to head through the transition altitudes. Virega, thank you very much. And yeah, those of us who might want to continue to fly out from Alesund onwards to somewhere else, you could head over to Oslo, Gardermoen as an option. How cool is this? Spectacular. Really cool. Adrian, welcome. So we've been told to descend to 5,000. We'll keep that going. And actually we can smooth this rate of descent right down now. There we go, 1200 at lap head. Looks like 10 after you to arrive, David says. Some terrain on the nav display would be good. Yeah, we could turn it on. I think because I'm used to the fly-by-wire not having it without using SimBridge, I forget to actually activate that. First time ever flying into Alesund Vigra. Very excited. It looks spectacular. And it's over there somewhere. Ready and waiting. Let's get rid of the music for now as well, because it's time to focus. Bring that range ring in. 1,000 foot per minute, and we'll just spend a few minutes with a, let's say, wing view. I do like the wing views.
Roger, 6536 via lap head transition, clear RMP, pseudo approach from 06, descend according to procedure.
While up have cleared RMP Zulu, transition 06, descend via procedure was 6536.
Osprey 495, descend.
A little town down there, look at that. We can even make out a little football pitch and stuff. Amazing. Final opportunity to pop a few screenshots in, and while I do that, quick look at Valanta. Polaris Control and some ATC have come online. Norway looking alive on VATSIM. Yeah, massive thank you to all the controllers. This is what makes VATSIM incredible. Flying into places like this. The most incredible views in Microsoft Flight Simulator, to be fair as well. It's pretty spectacular, isn't it?
Merv approach, good afternoon. This is Officer
amazing. And we've got ATC to really kind of boost that immersion even more. What have we got? Let's see.
236 Alpha, hello, approach. Expect RP pseudo approach on 06. Descend flight level 100 via start.
Christopher says, can't wait to get my bike license and cruise around Norway. What bike are you going to get?
Zulu approach runway 06, descend flight level 100 via start. Osprey 236 Alpha, thanks.
Pop the approach phase on.
6 Alpha, you can descend 5,000 feet via start. QNH is 1024.
Roger that, descend 5,000 feet, QNH 1024.
Let's get rid of that because it blocks out the magenta. Little bit of ground spoilers. $3,000, that's a bit better. Yeah, the VNAV is pretty trashy in this lately. 118.1. So we'll just use vertical speed mode. Yeah, you absolutely don't get this view in X-Plane, do you? That's probably the money shot right there, look at that. It's a busy approach this, so not actually getting much opportunity to kind of spot and enjoy the views out the window, but this is exquisite.
Approach, very good afternoon, Nordic 2 Mike Charlie, descending to flight level 120 out of 180.
Nordic 2 Mike Charlie, hello, Murder approach, expect
11 miles,
approach,
we're going to go flaps 1.
Expecting RMP 06, Nordic 2 Mike Charlie.
4,000, 1 to go. KTM 890 Adventure Suzuki V-Strom 800 Delta Echo, wow.
200 maintaining, level 200 instructed.
Osprey 5 Papa November, hello, Christian Murder approach, expect RMP Christian RMP Zulu approach on 06.
Expect RMP Zulu 06, Osprey 5 Papa November.
So now I've only approached this, so 3,000 at Bol and then 3.4.
Osprey Pop 5 Papa November, I expect holding at Alpha Lima 804.
Expect holding at Alpha Lima Osprey 5 Papa November.
Okay, here we go. So, lights, signs. Should have cabin secure. Approach nav, finals arms, 180.
With 6536, contact tower 118.1.
Lap 2.
Enjoy the landing. So.
Tower 1181 for was 6536. Thanks for ATC, good day.
Good day.
Runway 06.
At Bol.
Sorry, was that taxi to Honeycomb Delta, Bravo 06?
Correct.
Yeah, taxi Honeycomb Delta, Bravo 06 with 433.
Let's just turn it off now and we'll hand fly the thing in. Tower, good evening. Wizz Air 6536, currently 6 miles on final 06.
Wizz Air 6536, Vigra, Tower, good afternoon. Wind 040 degrees, 10 knots. Runway 06, clear to land.
06 cleared land, Wizz Air 6536. Put the flight director off. Missed approach altitude is
2,500.
going to be set to 5,000, 160 till 4. Flaps 2, let's go flaps 3 now. Extend again. We're hand flying this.
With 433 at Honeycomb Delta.
433, continue holding short.
Sure, with 433.
Right, let me fire up Sky Dolly here because I want to replay this. That looks spectacular. Although I'm not sure if we're going to be able to replay it, to be fair. No ships, there's a little island. Final set of flaps. Spoilers armed, take off memo, snow blue. Flaps full, gear down, 3 green. Order brake medium.
4072, Vigra, Tower, go west of midnight. Cleared, Flesland, 2 top, 2 echo departure.
And we'll bleed the speed off now. Final approach.
Score to 4115.
Clear to Flesland, 2 top, 2 echo departure, initial climb 6,000 feet, squawk 4115.
So just flying its visual approach now, really. More than anything else. In fact, shall we do auto thrust off as well? Let's do that. Let's kill the auto thrust. My throttles. So we're actually hand flying it and hand managing the throttle as well. We can do that in this. Let's kill the master caution. First time ever doing this, I think. Maintain that rate of descent. A little crosswind. It's at the minute 058 is 17. Little bit of power for an input there. Power reduces our rate of descent.
500.
And I forgot to give you guys control visualizer. What a good time to realise, eh? Jeez. Let's increase our rate of descent a little bit, and we'll just capture that now with a little bit more power. Looks a little high actually, doesn't it? But we'll see how we go. We might have to go around if we really stuff this up. It looks okay. I'm happy with this.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, retard.
Hold in the flare. Come on. Floaty, floaty. Reverse. Idle. Decelerating. Oh, it's giving us full reverse now. Brilliant. I haven't commanded that though. I don't get these keybinds in this bloody aeroplane anymore.
Line up runway 06 for Wheels 433.
That was a short touchdown, wasn't it? And we can vacate it. We won't do Charlie, that's a bit too tight. That stopped almost on a sixpence, my goodness. APU 2, 3. Start. What an approach that is though, wow. Was 6536 is vacated Bravo.
6536, taxi Bravo, stand 14.
Bravo stand 14, but was there 6536, thanks. Aviator. Let's do that. How was that then? Stand 14 so could be right on Bravo, following the line past the 737, and then 2 stands in on the right. Flaps up. Speed brake disarms.
072 is ready for push.
This is a freeware scenery, by the way, folks. We're going to get the landing lights off, runway turn off lights off, taxi lights on, strobe lights, we'll leave them on auto, APU bleed on. We've got that little flight control auto throttle disconnect alert there, that's fine, it's because we had the throttles ourselves. Round we go. This looks really good. What a spectacular bit of freeware scenery. Top left, hopefully, you can see that. The landing rate's 249 foot per minute. And that was our touchdown, look. 1.2 G. Actually, just after the touchdown zone, it floated, but that's bang on. I'm happy with that. So, certainly better than yesterday. Certainly a lot better than yesterday, my goodness. There we go, and we'll start the turn in. Marshall's on his stairs. Yeah, the number is blocked by the overlay. I can't really solve that. I don't really know how to solve that, to be honest. In we go. So yeah, don't be afraid, folks. Of I know the auto thrust in the Airbus is incredible, and it gives you the opportunity to just live it in the climb gate until you touch down. But throw yourself for the challenge and hand fly it properly. Yeah, turn the auto thrust off entirely and see how you kind of handle it. Go a little bit Boeing-esque with the Airbus. A little bit of power required there. It's a bit too harsh on the old brakes. In fact, it still wants a little bit of power.
433 contact Mura 129.325.
That should be enough.
129.325, thank you.
Keep an eye on the marshaller. Wait for his stop guidance.
Osprey 236 Alpha, wind 0.0 degrees, 10 knots. Runway 06, clear to land.
Ah, too firm on the brakes.
Runway
Brakes are
06,
either
clear
like
to
on
land,
or off
roger
at the
that,
minute.
Alpha 236 Alpha.
Brakes on. I reckon I've parked a bit too far forwards now. Ah, it's not too bad actually.
Scandinavian 4072, request push on.
Engines 1 and 2. APU's unavailable anyway. Happy days.
Straight push and start approved. QNH 1024.
Straight push and start approved. QNH 1024. Scandinavian 4072.
To disembark. Go GSX. Request deboarding. So this freeware scenery has not only got incredible freeware scenery, but it's also got a GSX profile that works really nicely with it. Let's dive back out. We're going to zip into pressing 5 so it resets our drone camera.
Tower, this is Osprey 236 Alpha going around.
Oh, Jack's going around. Woo! Remember to stow your spoilers. They're still out. Well, that got sporty very quickly. Doors open. Jet2 Holidays, Scandinavian. Nice selection here. Look at this freeware scenery. How good is this? Yes, unlike me yesterday where I just stacked the F28 into the ground. Whoops. That's really nice.
Contact Merlin 129.325.
Should we find out how we did on New Sky then? We'll have a quick grab of a screenshot here. We'll wait for the first punters to come off while we do that. New Sky, there it is. Drum roll, please. I reckon a 9 out of 10. Close the flight. Oh, 10. God, we must have been within the time limit for turning off our landing lights on departure.
Tower, very good
I was a bit
afternoon.
slow
Nordic
with that.
Charlie, 10 mile final 06.
Yeah, there is a payware scenery for this as well by Orbex. MPS Gaming saying it's not much different between the freeware and the payware. But above that, Eagle saying
06, too much, Charlie.
that Orbex's scenery is a bit better. Interesting. Here they come. Pleasantly surprised by the smoothness of the pilot's skills. I'll take it. Not flown the Fenix in a little while actually, but I've got to say, I was a little worried. A couple of issues just pre-stream with the reversers that we spoke about on the ground, but that was quite nice. It was refreshing for once. Even the responsiveness of the thrust on approach, that seemed really quite nice as well. So all round, actually, quite an enjoyable little trip, isn't it? What else have we got then? So we can follow these in. We've got one on final. We don't want to miss him. No interior, but bearing in mind this is freeware, we don't really particularly need one, do we? It's got a little control tower. And yeah, you come more so to somewhere like Vigra for this sim experience. These wonderful fjords, that incredibly scenic approach that we just enjoyed. Look at that, all round wrap round views. Couple little heli spots there as well. It's time to watch some touchdowns. There's the TDZs. There's the windsock as well. Facing the right direction, pleased to know. Hey, you know what? That's an unforgiving word. I don't hate the Fenix. I get really frustrated with all the issues that I seem to experience with it.
Takeoff for Delta runway 06, Roger, Wilco, Scandinavian 4072.
it goes without saying, but a huge thank you to our ATC, both our Gdansk approach in Poland, but also all of our Norwegian controllers here, covering Polaris through to Mild and Vigra approach. Vigra Tower, rather. Mild approach and Vigra. Really, really cool. Makes it so much better. I'm interested actually as well, while we're kind of watching all these, how many of you in the live chat watching actually turn the auto thrust off in the Airbus? And how many of you have never done that?
Going around?
Power, power! Lots of go-arounds here, my goodness.
Sir, good evening, Osprey 495.
Through the sun.
Final 406.
Osprey 495, continue approach, runway 06.
Cythera does it, Dan never. Ian does. Epic, that's great.
Can you please repeat louder?
Loads of go-arounds, this is exciting.
Osprey 495, continue approach, runway 06.
Continue
2 on final now.
06, Osprey 495.
Charlie, contact Mura 129er.
Yes, we will allow them to enjoy the sights of
129,
Vigra.
325, not too much, Charlie.
People have made good progress actually now. Gav is at the back. He's almost over Oslo Garderman at the moment, so 20-30 minutes. That's not bad at all. We can just sit back and kind of go into chat mode, I suppose. Wiz 433 coming in on one engine, Elk. Oh dear. Gracia, welcome buddy. It's somewhat telling that V1 Sims, a real Airbus captain, said that the fly-by-wire flight characteristics are in better shape than the Fenix. That's interesting. Yeah, that was on the link you sent yesterday in Discord, wasn't it? That did surprise me somewhat. Brendan says, always have the auto thrust on, it works every time. Sometimes it's nice just to kind of test yourself a little bit though and turn that off, surely. Craig Moulton, thanks buddy for the super chat. Appreciate it. Carlita says that headwind is a trap waiting to happen, it almost got me. Cythera says, yes, so Christopher mentioned that as well. On the approach, I saw Christopher put on there, as we turn the auto thrust off, Lufthansa style. Cythera in the chat there saying that I think Lufthansa's SOPs turn off the auto thrust. It's a great skill to be able to have. You know, managing that throttle of the Airbus properly, and not just letting the auto thrust do all the work. But then I suppose the core architecture of the Airbus is that it handles a lot of it on behalf of the pilot. MPS put onto Discord some pictures of the freeware Gdansk versus the payware Alesund. Just done it the other way around today. Gracious saying it's to keep the SOPs the same between the Boeing and the Airbus. It probably prevents a lot of skill bleed as well. Don't forget, you know, could you imagine if you're going from a Boeing 737 perhaps, and then changing to an Airbus? That's a stunning touchdown. You know, you're probably going to have this tendency, aren't you, to be completely surprised to just set it in climb and then leave it and never touch it again until you retard the throttles on the flare for touchdown. Yet you then, by contrast, imagine if you were an A320 pilot with say 10 years experience in command of an A320 and you then try and switch to a Boeing 737.
Checking in.
That's going to be a lot more work, isn't it? And I'd imagine there would be a little bit of skill fade in managing that throttle, perhaps on final, having not done it for 10 plus years in an Airbus. Which is why, you know, it's one of those things as well, auto land is so rarely used. It's one of the things I get asked for a lot. You know, can you do auto land tutorials? I don't think I've ever done an auto land on the channel, have I? Maybe one. Maybe one. But I would rather, certainly in the sim, I would rather fly the aeroplane myself and do the approach myself. A little bit more rewarding that way, I always think. But it is impressive sometimes watching what the developers have actually done with things like auto land. The Fenix, I know, is one of the aircraft that does it particularly. Does quite a particularly impressive show of auto land. Next one in. That poor Scandinavian waiting to depart must be thinking, what the hell? Why did I choose Alesund Vigra today? Looking quite nice. Oh, actually, suddenly a bit low. Oof. Oh, landing a bit short there. Just got away with it though. Nicely saved. Very nicely saved. That may well have just been a whole load of headwind drop, making the aeroplane sink a little bit. Hey, just notice that. Look at the grooving on the runway. That is in the freeware. That's incredible. Going to help with rain, water, ice dissipation. Where's he vacating? All the way down at the end there. Very scenic approach that, wasn't it? He's waiting so patiently. Straight in behind him. Another aircraft. In fact, one behind him as well. Grey Shirt says, on the other hand, American Airlines keep the auto thrust on with the 737 on landing from what he read. That's interesting. I'd be interested to see where that source data is. I always thought with Boeing, if the autopilot's going to come off, the auto thrust is off as well. You will notice though, and you will find that every company seems to do it slightly differently. You'll have the core for what Airbus and Boeing say has to happen, and then the companies might just deviate from it a little bit as well. Lazarus, epic. Another 10 in the bank. Good job. You says unmuted. Brilliant approach to controller. Were you focusing on your flying a little too much there? I assume you muted the stream. Hope that went well. Flying Shamrock, welcome. I can't trust the auto thrust on landing with the 737 and 787, but it does idle it and everything else. Good to know. I never use it myself for approach. If I'm going to turn the auto thrust off, I always do just prior to the autopilot coming off. So I'll do auto thrust off, take over the controls, and then I'll turn the autopilot off for the 737. And I kind of do the same with the 787 as well. Salvage, the Norwegian who had to do a go around, is going to be hard to find a slip to land in because of the traffic. Yeah, there is that, but then go arounds have got priority, so some of the aircraft beyond the go around will have to then kind of be sequenced or vectored or put into the hold a little bit more. Dan says in the 787 they do keep the auto thrust on, but I guess that's going to be company specific, isn't it? And you know, if you can turn it off, why not? Fly it manually. It's going to be all down to the SOPs, but you can. It should retard the throttles for you as you touch down as well. Ding ding, touch down. Slightly short again, but pretty good. Very nice. I think that was at the single engine arrival. It might be. Which is pretty tough then anyway. Good job to just get it on the runway. Unless he's next. There's two more on final. I can see the little lights up ahead. Here he comes. It's a Norwegian. Is this the go around? Jack and Norwegian 2 Mike Charlie, the two go-arounds so far, they've been vectored out over the water still.
Thank you very much.
This one is Norwegian 6 Papa Lima, Hergy. That was Zato, good job. There's 433s coming in. Gav is only just over Oslo. You're doing Mach 80, not clacking, you're slacking. Ah, Rab. You know what? I actually thought did Rab's comment get deleted or something for using the word retard? Airbus speak, of course.
Continue approach
Shouldn't
number
have
2
done.
with 433.
I put an exemption in for it. This is the UNICEF Norwegian livery. Spectacular touchdown. That's really good job. Look at that. Beautiful flare as well. Perfect. VATSIM's network by the looks of it, struggling to keep up. Really nice work that. He's off. The runway here, look at that. It's on like this big kind of hill. So both runways kind of going uphill actually. Next one, short final, cramming them in. Yeah. Cytherea's flying the 747-200.
Clear to land 06 with 433.
That's Elk. Single engine. Is he crabbing much? Let's find out. Not massively, to be fair. Maybe he's kept it high to keep the engine power setting low. Who knows? There's a bit more of a flare. One engine approach. Not every flight has to end in an emergency, you know that, Elk, right? Touchdown! Whee! Almost a Fokker F-28 special there from yesterday. Look at that, engine 1 is off by the looks of it, according to the AI model. Let's see if we can get a bit more of a zoom in here. Yeah, look at that. Engine 1. Even on the AI model. I've never seen that before. Next one's coming in. Probably about 8 miles. We'll give it another couple of seconds before it renders in the aircraft model. It's just there on the screen. But in the meantime, let's get updated with Valanta. So Gav, g'day, is there. Just northwest of Oslo Gardermoen now. So still making some effort to catch up. There's a C700 there. Golf 209 Bravo Lima. What else? We've got 853392 Osprey 1964 flying along.
Good afternoon, Ascot 2205, with you.
Ascot 2275 Vigra.
I don't think I've got Ascot model matching still.
Continue approach, Ascot 2205.
Norwegian 887, no model matching. Scandinavian 514, no model, no screenshots. Sorry. Nos 887, no screenshots. Ian Osprey 2472. Oh, he's in the One World livery. Oops. Love it. Right, next one's short final. Let's we'll catch up with us in a minute. Here he comes. Oof. He is only just coming down. Bold. It's an assault landing. That looks quick.
Ramp 3, ATR 42,
oh my goodness.
24.
And it's a go around.
2205 going round.
54 Oslo Garden.
Just showing us his belly look. That looked really quick, didn't it? My god. That looked absolutely rapid. Gear up, flap 15. Away he goes. Spicy. Fourth go around today now. headwind gusts and switching to a crosswind, becoming quite playful it seems. Was there 433? That's that one. Where are we? Trying to find. There he is. Ascot 2205 on the go around now. That's the RAF Poseidon livery that he's in.
05, contact Murder 1290.325.
Jack Osprey 236 Alpha is on his way in. And Norwegian 2 Mike Charlie for the go around. No screenshots either.
Info approach, Osprey 2472 is with you on approach for runway 06.
Osprey 2472, the tower, wind 05, degrees 11 knots. Runway 06.
This is going to be a nice, consistent flow. One aircraft after the next, all flying in now. Spaced a couple of minutes apart. Hopefully you guys enjoy all of this as well. Yeah, Lazaros, he's going to have to go back to stand in a minute and refuel. There's a Finnair waiting to get cleared as well for departure. Have we decided on a route for Wednesday's Fokker F28 release? No. These are all doing what I should have done yesterday, i.e. do a go around.
Vidare 150 Vigra Tower.
Alesund Tower, I'm cleared to Oslo Gardermoen, confirm, Vidare 150.
Vidare 150, cleared to Gardermoen.
Absolutely, David. Have you got a route maybe into Vancouver or out of Vancouver that would be about 2 hours that one of those Canadian liveries could do? Or even maybe a US Air, Fokker 28 4000. What have we got? US Air. Here comes the next pilot. Oh, it's only the 1000s that had the Canadians, the smallest variant of the Fokker F28. CYLW and back would be around 2 hours airtime. Depends how quick you can turn around. I can open CYLW tower. Could be a good one actually. Depends on the routing though. We'd have to fly using VORs and things like that. There's like 28 seats or something I think in the Fokker F28 1000. It's down, nice touchdown, good job. In the A320 as well. Zoom zoom. Filling up. That Finnair is waiting patiently.
Ciao, good day, this is
Scandinavian is thinking, what the hell is going on here? I picked Vigra for a quiet flight.
Continue approach number 1, look at that.
Here he comes. Good landing, Ian. It's about to depart, Rab. Tanthius, welcome aboard, thanks for subscribing. Great to see you.
Vigra approach, Osprey 2472 is exiting the active runway at Bravo.
Michael, what's CYPR and is there any scenery for it? And is that a Canadian? Where is it? Canadian regional or Air Ontario route.
Runway 06 clear to land. Roger that.
Failing that, we could go wild. We could do the Fokker F28 Mark 2000 to Ghana Airways out of Accra. We could do that.
Let's clear the active runway and just
go totally wild. That's looking a bit quick again. Oh my god, he's got his speed brake out as well. That's never a good sign. He's probably had it out the whole time. Jeez, is he going to stop? Maybe not. Oh, his maximum brakes. Well saved. My goodness. So they've managed to now sequence enough of a gap. Got one aircraft now turning on final though. I think he's just cleared him for a backtrack. He is. It's hopefully going to be a quick backtrack. Scandinavians waited incredibly patiently now for that departure. Just Flight have responded to the preview stream from yesterday. Somebody asked in the comments from yesterday's live stream for that F28 preview whether or not it's going to come to Xbox or the marketplace. And I remember during the live stream they said that they were hoping to release it for Xbox users and put it on the MSFS marketplace in due course. They've just replied saying we'll submit it for the marketplace a while after we release it. We'll ensure no updates are required, and if there are, they'll get done and tested, and when it's nice and stable, we'll then send it to Microsoft for the addition into the marketplace. So, no end in sight for that by the looks of it. It might be a little way away yet. Not at all, Jack. I do it the other way around. Palace says, besides the name, it's a good question, what is the difference between an RNAV Yankee and an RNAV Zulu? So Zulu's the one that primarily gets used the most. Let's show it real quick here. Approach. That's the RNAV Zulu that we just did. Lapev to Uveva and then straight in. And then you can see the missed approach here. We're going to go offset 056 to 821 and then up to Tomno for a hold. Now, the RNAV Yankee is very similar. Lapev 5000, Uveva 3000, max 230. But down here, LPV Cat 1, the minimums are completely different, and it's for LPV aircraft, capable aircraft. LPV stands for. Is it L? Can't remember now. My goodness, that was a lovely takeoff. Trying to triple task here.
Tower, hello again, Nordic 2 Mile Charlie. We're 4 mile final.
Away he goes. Lovely job. Perfectly spaced at 4 miles. Look at that. These controllers are fantastic. Where is he? 4 miles.
Clear to land 06, Nordic 2 Mile Charlie.
Localizer performance with vertical guidance. Oh, there we go. Doc, thank you as well. Same time. Good job. So the LPV is kind of like even more of a precision approach. The RNAV Zulu 06 that we did is an LNAV only RNAV approach. So we had to control the rate of descent ourselves, the vertical profile ourselves. But the RNAV Yankee works very similar to an ILS. But it's a GPS version of, if that makes sense. It's probably the easiest way I can explain it. So the minimums are a little bit lower, and therefore, we've got a couple of seconds. All the minimums are a little lower there, look. And therefore you can actually fly it with like the LNAV and the VNAV, if you like, controlling the descent all the way to minimum. Michael says also see YYJ has 2 payware options. Fair enough. Yeah, not all aircraft can do LPVs though. Cythera there saying that the A320 Neo can do it. Yeah, you should put these on Discord, Michael. Tie it in with any liveries though. I've put the liveries in Discord in the club lounge, so they're the only ones we can kind of choose from at the moment in relation to our options for flights. But when that Fokker F28 does release on Wednesday, we'll do a little training live group flight, I guess. So we'll dive into it, and you guys can fly along and learn with me at the same time. Hopefully we pick somewhere remote enough to not necessarily get any ATC, because otherwise it's a bit of a handful. Certainly as we learn the jet. Nicely done. Just stopped for Alpha, like a pro. That's where we were planning to vacate. There are lots to learn with the F28.
I've got 205 finals.
Ken3 finally got out. You were the SAS. Very patient of you. Sorry to make you have to wait so long. Have a good flight. Jack's finished soiling himself. Good stuff. Just got to wash it all off now.
Alpha stand 1-2. Thank you. Too much, Ollie.
Alesund 2205, runway 06, cleared to land.
Very nice, good so far.
Here we go. Next Wednesday the skies will be full of Fokker F28s. Absolutely. Now obviously it's always recommended with new aeroplanes you never fly on the VATSIM network until you've learned it enough to kind of be proficient on the network with it and handle most scenarios. Obviously I dived straight in yesterday, a little bit ballsy, straight onto VATSIM to give it a good go. I think we got away with it. Oof. Is he going to stop? Perhaps not. Poseidon going for a swim. No, he's done it. Just. Jeez.
I've got 2205, cross backtrack.
I've got 2205, backtrack 06, vacate
I thought he was going to go for a touch and go for a moment.
I've got 2205.
Next one, you see this little twinkle in the distance, should be lining up on final. Scandinavian 514 is text only, number 2 to land. In fact, there's this one, is number 2. This one here is now on minimum approach speed.
Pushback,
I think this is the Scandinavian 514 inbound.
That's got 2205 secured.
Ooh, late landing clearance. Been Air Dash 8 engines running, Rab says. Exciting. Probably just hotel mode. Here comes the Scandinavian.
Alpha stand 1-1, that's got 2205.
Clear to land. And he goes. Text only, which is why we're not hearing the clearance. Adam, the CRJ is great from Aerosoft. Really, really nice. It's not high fidelity like the PMDG 737. It's kind of a middle ground of it, but really, really nice bit of work from them, and very enjoyable. You've got to learn its quirks, and you've got to manage that supercritical wing surface as well. Oof. Almost mowing the lawn. He's down. Good job. Old school retro Scandinavian 737-700. Yeah, I've got a number of tutorial videos, Adam, for it. Episode 1, 2 and 3 in the Aerosoft tutorial playlist. Do check it out. They will get you started and sorted nicely. Good job, he's down. To vacate at Bravo. Or possibly Charlie. There we go. Go do Charlie instead. That was spicy indeed. How we doing? Let's see. Volanta. Powered by Orbex. So next in Norwegian 887. And then Osprey 1964. And then a couple of minutes behind him, about maybe a 5-10 minute gap, Osprey 722. So that might be an option actually for us to disconnect from VATSIM briefly. Maybe watch our replay of the approach. That could be a little gap filler in that little bit while we wait for these to get sequenced in. Sky Dolly doesn't always do a great job of
established on RMP approach,
replicating a whole load of stuff like slats, flaps, landing gear lights and all that, so we might do that. Finnair is doing a reverse taxi with props. Doing it old school, look at that, proper. Nobody needs pushback in an ATR. To be fair, he might fit into that departure gap. That's such a great aircraft. I know it's got its critics. I find it remarkably good fun, the ATR. I haven't flown it for a few weeks, do miss it. Not very barbecue weather outside, that's for sure, my goodness. It's supposed to be clearing up from about now to like a sunny with cloudy interval afternoon. Ah, Jack, that's good enough. Chris, reverse is fine in the Bravo with the ATR. At least from tests the other day, when I was getting it all recalibrated when it got delivered. He was reverse taxiing, I think he's stopped reverse taxiing now. Hergy says, pretty cool fact with FSLTL models is that Finnair is logged in as Wildero, but Finnair is leasing the aircraft to them, hence the Finnair livery. That's pretty smart. Good job from FSLTL. Michael's looking forward to the Majestic though, missing flying the Q400. We could do with the Dash 8 in here, couldn't we? It's pretty cool. Hey Grant, that's fine. Go around's better than slamming it down, that's for sure. Good decision making. Ian says he uses SPAD next with the Bravo. Interesting, I don't have that myself. Somebody's asking about the VAS Airplane Toolbox thing on the Boeing 787 tutorial series that I've done. I've linked VAS Airplane Toolbox into that. I might have to do a video on it. It's predominantly fairly self-explanatory, to be fair, but you need to install VAS Airplane Toolbox, and then there's also a folder called Patch, which is like the way that they update it, and that's the one that you overwrite the files with, so you install the patch over the others. Oh my goodness, we almost missed a touchdown. Is that a text-only approach? Only caught the last second of that, but that's looking pretty good actually. Fun fact is, any of you want to fly cargo with DHL but don't want to use the boring call sign of Lufthansa, you can use DHA, DHL Austria, and take the call sign Yellowtail. And Hergy saying the Norwegian are looking to buy Wildero. Very nice. Bit of news. Then they'll have a fleet of cool little ATRs. Here he goes.
Nordic 87, shall I exit on Alpha? Alpha, taxi runway 1, correction. Vacate Alpha, taxi stand 1 station.
They missed a trick there, didn't they, with the reg? It should have been OATR. Instead it's OATP. So the Finnair is on the backtrack for the takeoff. On Valanta we can have a little look at the overlay. Golf 209 and Gav are getting in close now. We've got Osprey 1964 inbound on final. I think, are they online? I'm not sure. I don't know if they're on VATSIM or not. But the little Finnair ATR is going to go first. Possibly then with this touchdown if there's somebody on VATSIM. Oh, there is. Wicked. They're on final. I can just see their little lights if I zoom out enough.
Alesund Tower, Osprey 1 access to first final 06 RNT look.
Yeah, the ATR needs to shift. Or the Dash 8 rather.
Continue approach, abort departure and...
Continue approach, Osprey 1 access to 1.
This is going to be tight. It's an ATR, good. I was looking at an ATR, but I wasn't sure if you guys were seeing it elsewhere on VATSPY or something as a Dash 8. Oh, he's got stuck there though. Well, that's not very good. Oh, he's rolling again. Let's run back a little bit here so we get to watch his takeoff a bit more. My goodness, look at this uphill. That's steep. Oof, big old tail strike. Such a great aircraft in the sim, that. Great fun. Yeah, it was an ATR46 for me. Actually, was it ATR 72600 for me, I think.
Clear to land, report vacated on access to 1.
And just in time, because we've got the next one inbound.
Contact Nevada 129er decimal 325 Solar.
129er decimal 325, wiederholen 150.
I think it's got ATR 72. Let me load it in and have a little look to see what mine shows as. Wildrow ATR 46, and it's shown as an ATR 72 500 for me in FSLTL. According to my model matching, Hergy and Rab. And that Citation Jet's inbound as well at 10 miles. Golf 209 Bravo Lima, followed by Gav 15 miles out. Cool. Yeah, it was a Finnair ATR leased up, Hergy was mentioning earlier. Pretty cool. Oh, big sink. Saved it. And he's holding the flare nicely. Touchdown just before the zone. Nice job. Spoilers up. And decelerating. Lots of brakes. There's the windsock again. little gusty, predominantly down the down the runway. Good job. The pink of the Wizz Air livery kind of sticks out like a sore thumb here, doesn't it? Surrounded by all this lush green landscape.
Osprey 1954, Honeycomb Bravo.
Osprey 1964, taxi, stand for 3.
This is really nice. What a part of the world. Brav's got so many green shots. Here comes the citation jet. Look at this, perfectly sequenced, folks. That down there would be epic to fly through.
Clear to land runway 06, Golf Bravo Lima.
This is shown as a citation jet, I think, on my model matching, so it'd be interesting to see this. Good point, Clipper. Hello to you, welcome. Saying getting ready to try out the new Mad Dog update. Yeah, it got updated yesterday. Quite a few things included over on the Leonardo Mad Dog forums with the changelog. I'll put it into the MSFS add-ons chat bit of our Discord server as well, kind of covering off all the different things, or at least a link to, I think, the forum post where you can read the changelog. Really impressive. Again, another aeroplane. There's so many aeroplanes now in the sim, just seems to be the case that I can't keep up with it all. Every week I find myself saying I need to fly X aeroplane, then it's I need to fly Y aircraft. I haven't flown this for a little while, but with new aeroplanes coming out and kind of wanting to dip back into the 737 all the time, constantly draws me in that aeroplane. I find that we don't fly anywhere near enough of some of the aeroplanes we should fly. Here it comes, little private jet. I hope he's got his gear down in the sim. Ah, yeah, there we go. Just rendering in. And this is an FSLTL model as well. Which offing neck is that? That looks more like AIG, to be honest. Yeah. He's down. My goodness, how quick did he vacate? Wow. Get them executives to that meeting. They've got to go rip some more people off. Not aircraft. Let's see what that was actually meant to be. Learjet 25. FSLTL actually. I'm surprised by that. It's very low resolution, isn't it? But the type code C700. It loaded in as a Learjet instead. And now Gav, Osprey 722 at 10 miles. Last pilot in. Jay Lust, welcome. Here he is, super late in Melbourne, staying up late again for us for our little flight. Gav's on final.
Clear to land from 1 22. Golf Juliana Bravo Lima, would we taxi off to the right here at the GAE ramp? Roger that, Golf Bravo Lima.
Waiting for the lights to render in. Okay, I just about see it now. See it, we've cleared all the drop bears. away from the runway. Final approach today. Very upbeat tunes. He's got Oslo, Gardaman.
Understand and shutting down. Thanks very much. Have a great day. Golf Bravo Lima.
Golf Bravo Lima, thanks for flying. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. It should be at a renderable distance in a moment. We should start to see his aircraft come into view. Gav's flying the A320 as well. Yeah, controllers have been incredible today, haven't they? Really good. Hopefully they've enjoyed, certainly, well, both directions in fact. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the surge of traffic. Fortunately not, Adam, no. Perhaps there's still another 2 after Gav. What? Where? There's one flying in from Gothenburg. I don't think he's flying along though, if that makes sense. Here we go. Hello Anthony, welcome. There's an add-on that brings you birds. Interesting. Adrian says this airspace is not made for that many planes at once. Hey Rab, I can't see those. Giving you a good ATC workout, Adrian, that's what we're doing. Appreciate it, you guys have been fantastic. Gav, our resident Mexican, touching down wonderfully, right on the zone in the A320. I can't find Osprey 1964 and NOS 887. No, they're not actually on my charts at all. They're not even on Valanta for me. One 196787, 1964. Yeah, I think 887 as well. I think that's 887 right there. Possibly. There we go, folks.
722 vacated runway 06.
Mega ATC both ends. Massive thank you to all of you. Adrian saying, let us know the next time you fly to Norway. I'll log on for any time. Really appreciate that. Hopefully you've all enjoyed the air traffic control today on the VATSIM network. Our flight from wonderful Drzewiecki Design GDANSK, rocking up on that platform at the train station, heading into the terminal. Then for our flight in the Wiz A320 Fenix Simulations Airbus A320 for Microsoft Flight Simulator to Alesund Vigra in the north of Norway. Massive thank you to all of you who are tuned in, new subscribers, welcome on board, and Craig for your super chat a little earlier on as well, really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who flew along too, always makes it enjoyable, brings it up a notch, doesn't it? And yeah, hopefully you guys have had a great start to the weekend. The Fokker F28 Just Flight preview, if you missed it, head back on the channel, go back, check that out. You can watch it on demand at any time. basically preparation for its release due this Wednesday coming, and then keep your eye on the channel for Wednesday. We're going to be racking up a little bit of a group flight, I suppose if you like, with the Fokker F28. We can all kind of learn it live and take it on a journey somewhere where we can hopefully have no ATC and just cause carnage on Unicom perhaps. But in the meantime, as always, enjoy the rest of the weekend. I'm back to work tomorrow before a little bit more compassionate leave and some more annual leave. And we'll head out over the fjords with the drone camera. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the Meet the Fokkers stream. I love it, Ian. Yeah, good shout. Okay, in the meantime, as always, thank you, folks. And take care. I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.
Osprey 2472 signing off. Thanks very much for the ATC. Have a great day.
Thanks for flying. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So long.
Cheers, you too.